Well, happy Friday to everybody. Hope you are doing well and you're looking forward to the weekend. Hope the weather is good where you are. We have a rare situation today. We have an actual real life doubleheader here on June the 21st on a Sunday afternoon in Oakland. It's a double dip, and we're going to have both games. Game one was won by Oakland 7-3. We'll see how that plays out in Strat-O-Matic. This is game number 467 in the replay. Oakland Coliseum, whatever they called it back in 1987. I think it was just Oakland Coliseum. Singles are 1-3 for left and right. Home runs 1-5 left and right. Starting pitchers for game one, it's Jose Guzman for Texas and Dave Stewart for Oakland. Stewart comes in the game 8-3. Guzman comes in 2-4. Oakland in first place, the surprise team of the league at 40-25. Texas in last place at 25-38. So not sure how competitive it will be. In the real world, they actually split the doubleheader with Oakland winning game one and Texas winning game two. But that's why you roll the dice and play the game. Neither pitcher is very good at holding runners on. Stewart's going to have a +3 combo with his catcher, Mickey Tettleton. And Guzman is already a +3. Then you add on the +2 from Petrali, makes him a +5. So not going to, be able to hold runners on that well. So base running could be at a premium. You never know. You just never know. So let's get this in place. Not even sure we need this overhead light. You turn that off and see what happens. You get that shadow. That's the only thing I don't like is the shadow. I can pull this out a little bit and get it away from the shadow. Maybe we'll do that. I don't know. Hello, Mr. Rail fan. Good to see you. So we'll try it this way for now because I don't like that way that light is doing with the shadows. When I bring it a little closer like that, I get that shadow. Let me put the light back on overhead and see if that takes the shadow away. I just don't want it to be too bright on the cards where you can't see the cards very well. But this is as dim as I can make the overhead lights. I don't know I can make them any dimmer than this. I'm trying to turn them down as much as I can. I mean, I can turn them up, which would be bad, but I am turning them down as best I can. So we're just going to go with this and hope it works. We do have Oakland A's colored dice for this doubleheader. And we go to our Strat computer, get the full numbers on today's starter, Dave Stewart. Again, in the replay, well, first of all, let's look at his real world numbers. Real world for Dave Stewart in 1987. He was 20-13 with a 3.68 ERA. On the replay, he so far has checked in 8-3 with a 2.77 ERA. So almost a full run lower. He's really pitching well, which is one of the reasons why Oakland's doing so well. 110 innings pitched, only 95 hits, 52 walks, and 92 strikeouts. So the 52 walks is a little bit high. It's like he's averaging about 4 walks a game. So that's a little high. He could stand to cut that down a little bit, but otherwise he's doing very, very well for himself. Texas kind of jumbling the lineup here in game one of the doubleheader. They're giving Jerry Brown the game off. They're giving Steve Buechele the game off. So we have Wilkerson going to lead off and play second base in this one. And Larry Parrish, who's usually the DH, is going to play third today. And Porter will be the DH. They do have 3 catchers on the roster, so having a catcher at DH is not going to really bother them all that much. But before the first pitch, of course, ceremonial first sip is in order. And that is some good coffee. And there will also be a ceremonial first sip before game 2 as well. So I appreciate that, Rail fan. I try to do my best. There are other people that do it a lot better than me, but I try. All right, so we're going to lead things off with Kurt Wilkerson, second baseman. Wilkerson on the replay hitting .225, a homer and 3 driven in. He hit .268 real world. And we're underway from Oakland, 5-6, switch hitter. That's a strikeout. Good start for Stewart as he puts the K on Wilkerson to start the ball game. One away, and here comes Scott Fletcher. Fletcher hitting 321 on the replay, a homer and 35 driven in. He hit 287 in the real season. So 111, and that's a fly ball to center field, hauled in by Luis Polonia. 2 up, 2 down. Good start for Stewart. Brings up Ruben Sierra, the right fielder. He had been on a tear early in the season, but it's really calm, cooled it down now. He's hitting 282 on the replay, 19 homers, 47 in. He at 263 real world. Switch hitter. 5-2, so switch hitter, 5-2. The fly ball to right field. Mike Davis is there. And Texas goes quietly here in the top of the first. They get nothing. Go to the bottom of the first. Texas nothing. Oakland coming to bat. And on the mound for the Rangers is Jose Guzman, right-hander. And if you look at Guzman on the real season of 1987, he was 14-14 with a 467 earned run average. And on the replay, not quite doing as well as he would have liked, obviously. Of course, the team's not doing that well either. He's 2-4, but his ERA is 7.68. He's a whole 3 runs higher on the replay. Of course, it's still kind of early for him because he gets a lot of starts. He's pitched 68 innings, but given up 93 hits, 33 walks, and 46 strikeouts. So Guzman trying to improve himself, get back on track. He's going to face Luis Polonia, center fielder. Polonia hitting 269 on the replay, 2 homers, 7 driven in. He had 287 real world. Left-handed hitter, 1-7, and that's a solid base hit. Solid single for Luis Polonia. And Guzman continues to give up the hits. He's also not good at holding runners. He's a +5, so Guzman got to be wary of the base running. 4, 5, or 6 gets him the lead. He doesn't get the lead, he will hold. And here comes Mike Davis, right fielder. Davis hitting 290 on the replay, 14 homers, 43 driven in. He had 265 real world. 210 for Davis, and there you go. Solid home run for Mike Davis, no doubt about it. No D20 needed on this one. Mike Davis on the 210 against right-handers, even against left-handers. 210, it's gone. So Mike Davis, a 2-run home run, and this is not the kind of start that Guzman was looking for. Home run for Mike Davis. Right out of the chute. 2-0 A's. And let's see how many home runs that is now for Davis on the replay. That is home run number 15. He had 22 of them in the whole season, real world. RBIs 44 and 45. A's lead at 2-0. And the seats aren't even warm yet for the bottom of the first. So Guzman has to bear down because it is a doubleheader. You don't want to burn your whole bullpen in game 1, so you better be able to give your team some innings. Here's Lansford. 6-2 for Lansford. Ground ball shortstop X. Fletcher 3E26. I failed to mention Lansford hitting 287 on the replay. 9 homers, 36 driven in. He had 289 real world. We are looking at Fletcher. He is a 3E26. 3-1. That's going to get through for a base hit. E26 and the 10 is not a problem, but that 1 on the D20 certainly is. And Lansford gets himself a base hit. Keeping the pedal to the metal, they will try for the lead. 2 through 5 gets him a good lead. And I rolled the wrong dice, but that's okay. It still counts. That's a 5. 2D6 is all I wanted. So 18, being held as a 16, but the +5 makes him a 21. Highest you can have, obviously, is 20. So the only way he's out is on a 20. 19, he barely got in there. But he did. Stolen base for Carney Lansford. If we look at his stolen base numbers both on the real season and on the replay, adding in this stolen base. In the real season, he stole 27 bases, got caught 8 times. This is stolen base number 7 for him. He's been caught twice. So he's at second base. Nobody out still for Jose Canseco. Canseco hitting 270 on the replay. 15 homers, 42 driven in. He at 257 in the real world. 6-4, and that's a ballpark blast Unfortunately for him, it's only a 5. That's a 20, so it's just a deep fly to left. But that was potential trouble again for Guzman, but he got a break on the D20 and the fact they're playing in Oakland. So that's one away, and here's Mark McGwire. McGwire hitting 290 on the replay, 22 homers, 49 driven in. Hit 289 real world. Lansford still at second with 1 out. 6-5, that's a strikeout. First strikeout for Guzman. So he's 1 out away from getting out of the mess, but he's got to get by Hot Dog Jackson. Reggie Jackson, designated hitter. He is hitting 195 on the replay, 12 homers, 32 driven in. He hit 220 real world. It is a clutch at bat, and he loses a hit on 1-2 and on 2-8 in the clutch. So he's got 2 places that average goes even lower when you count the clutch. It's a 5-6 left-handed. That's a fly to right field to end the inning. So Guzman at least minimizes the damage down to the 2-run homer and prevents any worse things from happening. We go to the second inning. It is Oakland 2 and Texas nothing. They've already given Dave Stewart a 2-0 lead to work with. Pete O'Brien, first baseman, will be the leadoff man. Pete O'Brien on the replay is hitting 282, 13 homers, 33 driven in. He hit 286 in the real season. 3-3, and that's a pop out to McGwire at first base. 1 away. Here's Larry Parrish. 249 average, 11 homers, 32 driven in. He hit 268 real world. 1-3, that's a ballpark single check. It's only a 1-3, but that's a 2. So Larry Parrish gets a rare base hit off the Oakland Coliseum. He's aboard. He doesn't run well. He will not be held. And here comes designated hitter Darrell Porter. He's really been tearing it up. He's hitting 347 in the replay, 7 homers, 11 driven in. He only hit 238 real world. Four, 5, and that's a split. 1-4 is a single, and that is a 4. So back-to-back low D20s give up 2 singles. And back come the Rangers. First and second, 1 out for O-Matic McDowell, center fielder. McDowell on the replay hitting 217, 4 homers, 20 driven in. He hit 241 in the actual season. McDowell could certainly use a boost. 1-9, he will walk, and that will load the bases. So all of a sudden, Stewart getting in some trouble here. Bases loaded, 1 out. And he'll be facing catcher Gino Petralli, who is a good double play candidate. Look at all these ground ball A's he's got in column 2. So they're going to hope to turn a double play here. Petralli on the replay hitting 279, a homer, 13 driven in. He hit 302 in the real season. Infield is back at halfway double play depth. 4-8, switch hitter batting left. That's a strikeout for Stewart. Strikeout number 2, and now all he's got to do is get the number 9 hitter, Bob Brower, to get out of the inning. Brower hitting 288 on the replay, 2 homers, 16 driven in. He hit 261 real world. It is a clutch at bat, and he gained some hits. Gains 2 of them in column 1, 1-6 and 1-12, and he gains 1 on 2-8. So 3 extra hits credited to his account on the clutch at bat for Brower. See if they come into play. 6-6 were off Stewart, so it's not going to matter. But it might get a base hit. 1-13 is a single. That's an 11. It's a single. 1-star single. That will move everybody up 90 feet. Scoring is Parrish to put the Rangers on the board. Everybody else moves up to 90 feet. And we flip the order over to Jerry Brown. It's now 2-1, Oakland. Here's Curtis Wilkerson, also a clutch at bat for Wilkerson. In the clutch, he is not as good. He loses 2 hits right here, 2-9 and 2-10. Stewart trying to minimize the damage to 1 run. He struck out his first time, though. 2-5, and this time he lines it right to McGwire, and that will end the inning. But the Rangers at least get a run across the board. However, they do leave the bases loaded, and that could come back to bite them. Go to the bottom of the second, Oakland 2 and Texas 1. Leading off will be switch hitting second baseman Tony Phillips in the bottom of the second. Phillips on the replay hitting .237, 3 homers, 25 driven in. He hit .240 in the real season. 5-10, switch hitter batting left. That's an in-home run chance, 1-9. That's a 5. That's gone. Tony Phillips has normal power. So look at it again. Show it up close. Get a bird's eye view here. Jose Guzman against left-handers, a 5-10. That in-home run chance is 1-9. The Devil dies a 5. And Tony Phillips, normal power both sides of the plate. So that's gone. Tony Phillips, a solo shot for Phillips. Don't usually think of Phillips as being a home run hitter per se. He had 10 home runs real world in 379 at-bats. So decent. I mean, he's rated enough to get normal power by Strat, so he must have hit, a few of them. He hit 10 of them. That's his 4th on the replay. RBI number 26 as well. And Oakland gets that run right back. It's 3-1. And here comes Mickey Tettleton, the catcher. Tettleton hitting .216, 9 homers, 20 driven in. He hit .194 real world. 2-3, and that's a fly ball to right field, hauled in by Sierra. 1 away. And here is Alfredo Griffin, shortstop, number 9 hitter, hitting .258 on the replay, 120 driven in. He had .263 real world. 2-8, and that's a fly to center field. That would be McDowell is there, 2 down. And back to Polonia. He singled and scored his first time up. 5-9, and that's going to be a 1-9 double. 16 to 10 to 20 is a single. So Luis Polonia will settle with the single. He's now 2 for 2 in 2 innings. Go figure. Hello, Miss Cap. So Polonia will try to get the lead. Needs a 4, 5, or 6 to get the lead. Doesn't get it, he'll hold. And here comes Mike Davis. He hit the 2-run homer in the first inning. That originally gave Oakland a 2-0 lead at the time. It's now 3-1, of course. So see what Davis can do. 3-12, that's a Lomax plus injury. So Mike Davis might be coming out of this game as he hit the Lomax roll. The home run by Tony Phillips puts him in the lead 3-1, or extends the lead to 3-1. Now we go to the injury chart. 1-6, and Mike Davis can stay in the game. 7 or higher, he's got to come out. So he will have to come out of the game. And the A's will need a new right fielder. They don't have that big of a bench. In fact, there's only one outfielder on the roster that's on the bench, and that's Stan Javier. So Javier will be coming on to take the place of Mike Davis. So this will be Javier going forward in right field. He's actually a better defender. He is a 2-E7 with a -1 arm. So he's actually a little bit better. They improved defensively. But Davis, the much better hitter. So he goes in the right field in the 3rd inning as Mike Davis comes out of the game. Davis will be available for game 2 of the doubleheader, though. Injuries are only single game only. So he will be available because he is in the starting lineup of game 2. All right, here's Carney Lansford. I'm sorry, what am I doing here? That was the end of the inning. That was the end of the inning. So we start at the top of the 3rd. And we're going to have Fletcher, Sierra, and O'Brien for Texas. Fletcher flew to center his first chance. 4-2. It's a ground ball first base C. So McGuire ranges to get it and flips to Stewart covering. Out number 1. For Ruben Sierra, he flew out to Davis in right field his first time. 4-8, and that's a strikeout for Stewart. That is strikeout number 3 for Dave Stewart. And that'll bring up Pete O'Brien, first baseman. He popped up to McGuire his first time. 5-10. That's a ballpark single check, but again, only 1-3. So he's going to fly it to center, and that will end it. So shutdown inning for Dave Stewart. They gave him a 3-1 lead, and he wants to keep it that way. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Still 3-1. And it'll be Lansford, Canseco, and McGuire due up for the A's against Guzman, who's been struggling all season, continues to struggle in this game right here. Can't find the rhythm or whatever. 3-5. That's a leadoff walk, and those are usually dangerous. Carney Lansford, that's the first walk issued. So Lansford will see about trying to get the lead. He needs a 2-5 to obtain a good lead. He does not. Boy, they just can't get the Guzman for some reason. Here's Canseco. 3-10. And that's a ballpark blast for Canseco. And that's a 2. Devil Die shows up as a 2. It is gone. Jose Canseco. Jose, can you see a home run? So let's get a close-up shot. Jose Canseco. 3-10. Right here. The big diamond right there. 3-10. Diamond shot. Ballpark home runs are 1-5. And the Devil Die is a 2. So Jose Canseco, a 2-run home run. And Guzman may not be long for this game, but they really need some length out of him because of the doubleheader. They would like to get a few more innings out of him. So let's see what home run it is for Canseco on the replay. That's home run number 16. He had 31 of them real world. 16th home run, RBIs 43 and 44. It's now a 5-1 game, as the Bash brothers are doing it. 3 home runs for the A's in this game. Here is Mark McGuire. 4-9, and that is a ballpark blast from McGuire, but this time the Devil Die doesn't cooperate, just to fly to left. So 1 away, and here comes Hot Dog Jackson. He flew out to right field his first time up. 6-5, and that's a ground ball to second. He's going to ground it right to Wilkerson, out number 2. And it brings up Tony Phillips. He homered his first time up. 112, this time split. 1-8's a single. That's a base hit. Tony Phillips, 2 for 2. And he's going to be looking to get a lead. 2 and a 6-8 will get him the lead. A 10, he's caught. That's a 9. He can't get a lead. So they just can't get, despite the +5 hold, they just can't seem to get the read on Guzman to get a steal. So that's a long ball, I guess. 1-5, that's a strikeout for Tettleton, and that is strikeout number 2 for Guzman. But the 2-run home run by Jose Canseco. And at the end of 3, it's Oakland 5, Texas 1. And Stewart might be going into cruise control. It'll be Parrish, Porter, and McDowell due up for the Rangers. See if they can dent this lead. Parrish singled and scored the only run of the game his first time up. 2-7. This time he'll single again. So 2 for 2 for Mr. Parrish. No threat to run. They'll hold him here. Here's Porter, the designated hitter. He singled his first time up. 2-5, and that is a ballpark blast for Porter, but the Devil Die is a 6 and the home runs is a 5. So Porter just missed it, got up under it too much. Javier at the warning track makes the catch. 1 away, but a lot of ballpark blasts in this game. Not good when Oakland's only a 5. All right, here's McDowell. McDowell, 4-8, and that's a strikeout for Stewart. Strikeout number 4. There will not be a 7th inning stretch in game 1, but there will be about a 2-minute intermission between games. So that's why there won't be a 7th inning stretch. I'll kind of take that in between games will be my stretch. All right, here's Petrali. 1-7, and that's a 2-20. It's a single, 2 stars. So Petrali, a base hit, sends Parrish over to third base. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. Clutch situation coming up for Bob Brower. Already seen Brower gets 3 extra hits on the clutch, so he's trying to channel that inner clutch right now. 5-10 though is under Stewart. It's a walk, so it's going to load the bases. So again, they load the bases on Stewart. And that is the third walk. Or is that the second walk? That's actually the second walk issued by Stewart. So the bases are loaded once again for Wilkerson. He was in this situation in the top of the second and lined to McGuire and left him loaded. See what he can do in this one. Wilkerson against Stewart, 4-5, and that's going to be a split chance. 1-4 is a single, but that's a 7. So again, he lines out with the bases loaded. Wilkerson has left 6 runners on base. Left them loaded twice. And that's going to definitely come back to hurt Texas. Again, Oakland won the real game 7-3. And we're kind of on that pace right now. Assuming Guzman can keep them from getting over 7 runs. All right, bottom of the 4th we go. And it'll be the bottom of the order. Griffin, number 9 hitter, leading off. Followed by Polonia and Javier for his first at bat. We do have a trivia question in the top of the 5th, so be ready for that. Griffin flew to center his first chance. 110, and that's a solid single for Alfredo Griffin. So for Oakland, that is hit number 8 already. Griffin needs a 2 through 10 to get the lead. Pretty good chance he can get a lead here. And he does, so he's going to go 15, being held to 13, but the +5's an 18, 1-18. And he's in there easily. Stolen base for Alfredo Griffin. Let's get Griffin's stolen base numbers on the real season plus the replay. Alfredo Griffin stole 26 bases in the actual season, got caught 13 times. This is stolen base number 21. He's only been caught 5 times. So he's been very successful with stolen base chances, even though he's only a 15 here. It's not like a 19 or anything, but he's managed to work his way to second base safely more than not. Here's Polonia. He's 2 for 2. .310, and that is a fly ball to right field, and that'll be out number 1. Sierra makes the catch, 1 away. And that'll bring up Javier. His first at bat. Oh, I didn't put Javier in the computer. How messy of me not to do that. So let's get Javier in the game right now. Javier on the replay is hitting .206, 2 homers, 7 driven in. He only hit .185 real world. Switch hitter batting from the left side. 2-9, and that's a ground ball second base A. That'll get the runner to third base. Now they're 2 away. So 2 down, and it's up to Carney Lansford in a clutch situation. With Griffin at third and 2 outs, Lansford in the clutch. Gains a hit, 3-9. Everywhere else he is totally neutral. 1-6, and he grounds it to short. Fletcher makes the play, and they leave Griffin at third. And Guzman keeps his team in the game a little bit longer. So now the computer is prompting me to put Javier in right field. While I do that, if you would pay attention to the chat area, Kathy has a trivia question for us while I take care of these little logistical things and get ready for the top of the 5th. All right, here is the question. He was the first player to have, wait a minute, what does that say? 5 hits, and I had to look at that real careful, Kathy, because the 5 and the hits don't have a space between it. So I wanted to make sure there wasn't something going on with diarrhea. He was the first player to have 5 hits in 1 World Series game. Okay, not sure, but I did have to take a double take on that. But 5 hits in a World Series game, man, that's a bunch. I thought I've heard this one before, but I'm probably wrong on it. I'm going to take an outside guess, Kathy. Is it somebody from the 1960s? Hello, Dav. I'm thinking of one guy in particular, but he's probably not the guy. I don't know how much 1982. Oh, okay. Well, that narrows it down to either the Brewers or the Cardinals. My initial reaction is one of the Brewers' leadoff hitters, but Dab is guessing Willie McGee. I was thinking Molitor, but could be anybody. No to all of that. Okay. Interesting. Hello, Mark. Let's see. I don't guess it was. No, it couldn't have been Keith Hernandez. He wouldn't have done that. I wonder if Robin Yount could have done that. I don't know. That one's a good one. I didn't know anybody had 5 hits in a World Series game before, so I don't know. While everybody guesses, we'll start at the top of the 5th. Fletcher leading off. Oh, I said it before. Did I say Keith Hernandez or did I say Robin Yount? Thinking Robin Yount. Oh, Molitor. Oh, okay. I did get it right. Okay. Because I saw the no there. I guess that was for the McGee and Simmons, but I thought you were telling me no for Molitor. It made sense. It had to be a leadoff guy because he's going to get those at bats, and Molitor is one of those guys that does a lot of hitting. All right, here we go. Fletcher, 2-6. That's a 1-4 double. 9's going to be a single. So leadoff single for Scott Fletcher. And I may have gotten distracted there and rolled that at bat twice. I'm not sure, but I don't care at this point. Hello, Brown. Tabby is resting downstairs on her favorite blanket, right by got the back door open, the porch door open with the screen, and she's enjoying the fresh air, the sunshine, and the sound of the birds, which she really loves. So I can't compete with that. So she's staying right where she is. All right, Fletcher could get a lead, but they're down 5-1 for one thing. Stewart is a +3 though, but I think down 5-1. You need base runners. So here's Sierra, right fielder. That's a 2 chance for balk or pass ball. He might get second base on his own. Balk chance for Stewart. He's got a pretty high balk rating, I think. No, he actually got a 0 balk. It was 88 that he had those balks. 87 he has a 0 balk rating. So Sierra will swing away 3-6, and that's a ground ball second base A. That is going to be a Giovanni's Taylor shot. Tailor-made double play, 4-6-3. And perhaps maybe I should have tried to steal, but down 5-1. I didn't think that was prudent. Particularly, it would have been a 1-16 if it had gotten the lead, but he's also going to get caught stealing on an 8, which comes up quite a bit, so I didn't want to get him picked off on an 8. But Ruben Sierra, Giovanni's Tailor Shop, tailor-made double play. Giovanni's Tailor Shop in Lemoyne, Pennsylvania. If you're up in that area, be sure to see them. Tell them Demo sent you. They'll give you a discount for all your tailoring needs. They are the unofficial sponsor of the channel, but the official sponsor of the Giovanni's Tailor Shop, tailor-made double play of the game. All right, Pete O'Brien, 2 out, bases clear. 5-3, it's ground ball to first base C, and again, McGuire will get it and flip to Stewart covering, and just like that, any thought of a Texas rally was squelched with that double play. So we go to the bottom of the 5th, still 5-1. Texas still in the game, but teetering on the edge. At least Guzman has given them 4 innings. They'd like to at least get 6 innings out of Guzman if they can to help their bullpen, so they don't have any weary arms for game 2. Here's Canseco. He homered his first time up. 1-3, the ballpark single check this time. So 1-3, that's not going to work, so that's a ground ball to short. 1 away. So Canseco is out of there. 1 down, and that brings up McGuire. He's 0 for 2. 6-7, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Fletcher, 3E26. I think this might be the first X chance of the game. 3-4, though. Ooh. Might get to it, might not. 3-4, he does not get to it. It's a base hit. So that's an 11 there. He's an E26. No 11. There's 12 there, but no 11. So no error, but McGuire sneaks it past him for a base hit. And the A's have a runner on with one out for Hot Dog Jackson. Jackson is 0 for 2. That's a 2 there. Balk or pass ball possibility. And that's not good either way because both numbers are 18. Guzman has an 18 balk. Petrali has an 18 pass ball. Which way are we going? We're going to the pass ball rating. So Petrali, 1 to 18. And he has the pass ball. So pass ball on Petrali will move the runner into scoring position, Mr. McGuire. Takes the double play out of the equation. Hot Dog steps back in. 3-6, and he strikes out. So Hot Dog not doing so well. A little extra mustard on the fastball from Guzman. 2 outs, and it's a clutch situation for Tony Phillips. He's 2 for 2. In the clutch, he gains a hit on 110 and 310. He gains 2 hits there, 110, 310. Also gains a hit on 2-6, which is even more prevalent. That's a 1, so it's a chance of a wild pitch. That's a 4. Guzman's wild pitch rating is a 6, so the wild pitch McGuire to third. So McGuire, innocent-looking single, doesn't run well, but a pass ball and a wild pitch gets him all the way to third base. Whoops, Phillips is still batting. Gets him all the way to third base with 2 outs. And Phillips trying to bring him home. 5-5 switch hitter. It's a strikeout for Guzman. Guzman pitches around all the mess, keeps Oakland in check. At the end of 5, it's still 5-1 Oakland A's in the lead in game 1 of a doubleheader. Top of the 6th we go. It'll be Parrish, Porter, and McDowell due up for the Texas Rangers. Parrish is 2 for 2. 5-9, make him 2 for 3 as he flies out to Javier in right field. 1 away. Darryl Porter, 1 for 2 on the game. 3-11 for Porter. That's a ballpark single. It's again only a 1-3, so that'll be a line out to second base. Out number 2. And that brings up McDowell. Stewart appears to be on pretty much cruise control here. 5-8, struck him out. Struck out number 5 for Stewart. And through 6 innings, he has kept the Rangers in check, just the 1 run. Rangers left the bases loaded twice. That's been their bugaboo. To the bottom of the 6th. Guzman still in there, facing the bottom of the order. Tettleton, Griffin, and then Polonia. Hello, Dr. D. Tettleton, 3-8, and that's a base on balls. For Guzman, that is walk number 2. It's only his 2nd walk. That'll bring up Alfredo Griffin. He's 1 for 2, is Griffin. 6-9, switch hitter batting left. That's a fly ball to center field. McDowell's got it, 1 away. For Luis Polonia. 2 for 3 for Polonia. 4-11, and that's a fly ball right field X. That's Sierra. He is a 2E12. 2 and a 6 should get to that. 2 and a 6 is an F2, and that's a 13 to go with an E12. There's a 13 right there under the E12. We'll show it a little bit closer here, but that's a 13 on the 3D6s, and he is an E12. Come up here to E12, the 13 is right there. You can see it right there, 13. 2-base error on Ruben Sierra. The Polonia will reach on the 2-base error, sending Tettleton to third. Not what Guzman needed. Infield's going to have to come in now for Texas against Javier. Javier's 0 for 1 since coming in for the injured Davis. Infield is in. We get a 5-2, and that's a ground ball pitcher B. They're gonna get Tettleton at the plate on the ground ball B. So he's out 1-2. Polonia will take third, and reaching on the fielder's choice is Javier. So when you get that ground ball B, and the infield's in, it's always out at the plate. So it's going to go down as a fielder's choice. One to two. So runners on the corners now with 2 outs. It's now a clutch situation for Carney Lansford. Lansford, let's see here in the clutch. He gains a hit on 3-9. They're going to hold Javier on, but he's not going to go anywhere. They're going to give Lansford a chance to swing. That's a 2. It could be a balk or pass ball that brings him in. He better hope he gets to well, it doesn't matter. They're both 18, so you're in bad shape regardless. This is a balk chance on Guzman. And he just balked in a run. So Polonia will score on the balk. And it's now 6-1 Oakland. And this is going to probably be the last inning for Guzman, I would imagine. Here's Lansford. 3-6 for Lansford. That's a home run on a 1-6. That's a 17. He'll settle with a double. And that'll score a run, and that's going to be it. Guzman's not even going to make it through the inning. He was close to getting out there, but not quite. It's now 7-1, and that's going to be it for Mr. Guzman. As Bobby Valentine will go to the bullpen, and they will bring in Dale Mahorsic to try to get out of the mess and eat a few innings. It's possible he could finish the game because as a visiting team, you only have to cover 8 innings as a losing team. So might bode well to be able to do that if he can. He also is a -5 hold. I doubt that's relevant now, but hey, never hurts. Makes him a -3. So Guzman's going to go 5 2/3. He's going to give up 10 hits, 7 runs, but he is responsible for Lansford at second, so we won't fill this in just yet. 2 walks and 4 strikeouts. And the new batter will be Jose, or the batter he will face will be Jose Canseco. But first, we need to bring him in on the computer, Mr. Mahorsic. Mahorsic on the replay, 4-2 with 4 saves and a 6.09 earned run average. He has not had a good replay. Real world, he did really well. It was 7-6 with a 2.99 ERA and 16 saves. But in the replay, a 6.09 ERA, 34 innings pitched, 42 hits, 5 walks, and 20 strikeouts. He's going to face Canseco in a clutch situation. Canseco in the clutch gains a hit on 110. We'll see if he can get out. That's a 2, chance for a balk or pass ball. Better hope for a balk. It's a balk chance. Let's see what Mahorsic's balk rating is. Can't be as high as the 18, that's for sure. Well, it might be. Its balk is a 16, so it's almost as high. And he balks the runner over to third. So going to third is Lansford. Canseco's still up. 2 balks and a wild pitch in the last 2 innings. 2 balks in the same inning. It's kind of interesting, too. Canseco 5-4. That's a ballpark single check. 1-3. That is a 3. And you know it's not your day when a 1-3 shows up as a 3. So the ballpark single will extend the inning, score the run, and now he can close the book on Guzman as that run is charged to him. He's going to give up 8 runs. So his ERA certainly took a hit as well. 8-1 Oakland. With the score 8-1, they will call off the Dogs on stolen bases, so won't try for anything. Here's McGuire. 2-8 for McGuire, struck him out to end the inning. The 3 runs come in. It is now a commanding 8-1 lead for Oakland as we head to the top of the 7th. Dave Stewart, this is his fatigue inning, but he seems like he's not anywhere near that level. Pitching very comfortably with an 8-1 lead. He's going to face Gino Petralli. 3-5 for Petralli, and that's a leadoff walk. Leadoff walk for Petralli. And I'll check my setup here and see if I need to move some things around or whether you can still see the card. I think you can still see the cards pretty good. So we'll leave it at that, right where they are. All right, so Petralli's on first, and here's Bob Brower. One 6 for Brower. That's a fly ball to center field, hauled in by the center fielder Polonia, 1 away. Remember, there's no 7th inning stretch in this game. There will be about a roughly 2-minute break between games. Here's Curtis Wilkerson. .511 switch hitter batting left. That's a fly ball right field X. That's Javier. And defensively, Javier is a 2 E7. So 2 E7 in right field. 2 and a 4 should get to that. 2 and a 4 he does. If that had been Mike Davis out there, that would have been a hit, but he's got better range. 2 and a 4 is an F1. So if he makes the catch, the runner's going to, Petralli is going to move to second. That's how deep it is. That's a 10, so it shouldn't be any problem with a 10. E7 and a 10, not a problem at all. So it's a fly ball to right field, but it's so deep, even the slow-running Petralli will move to second. So 2 away. The runner at second, and here's Scott Fletcher. Clutch situation for Fletcher, and he loses a hit on 2-9. Hello, Jason. Good to see you. Good morning to you. 2-11 is going to be a pop-up to short, and that will end it. So we go to the bottom of the 7th, and Oakland in command, 8-1. And Texas would like to have Mahorsic finish this game, so they can keep the other guys fresh for game 2. So Mahorsic just has to pitch 2 more innings. And he will start us out facing Hot Dog Jackson. Jackson is 0 for 3 on the ball game. 3-7 is a strikeout. So Jackson not doing so good. He's not having the best of games. No worries. Ron Say is the DH in game 2, so Jackson will get the rest. Here's Tony Phillips. 6-5, switch hitter batting left as a fly ball to center field. And McDowell will take care of it. 2 down for Tettleton. 4-11, switch hitter. Fly ball left field X. We are looking at the left fielder Brower. 2E14 for Brower. They're giving Incavilla the game off. He will be in left field in game 2, I believe. So Brower, 2E14, 2 and a 7. He gets to that. E14 and a 13. Wow. E14 and a 13. Errors are 12 and 14, but the 13 is good. So Brower makes the play, and the A's are gone here in the 7th. We go to the 8th, and Stewart keeps pretty much his entire endurance mark. He only gave up a walk in his fatigue inning, so he's back out for inning number 8. He'll be facing Sierra, O'Brien, and Parrish. That's a 2-7, and that's a strikeout. For Stewart, strikeout number 6. Pete O'Brien. .511 for O'Brien. That's a ballpark single check. 1-3. That's a 13. So he's going to line it to second base. 2 down. 2 away for Larry Parrish. 4-10, and that's going to be a ground ball third base X. We're looking at Lansford. 3E8 for Lansford. 3 and a 15 is good all day long. E8 and an 11. The only errors on the E8 are 3, 15, 16, 17, and 18. So he will make the play. And Stewart's looking good to get the complete game in game 1. Talk about saving your bullpen. Stewart is definitely doing that. Bottom of the 8th. Morsick back out. We'll face Alfredo Griffin. Griffin 1 for 3. 6-5. That's a fly ball to center. Hauled in by McDowell. 1 away. So Mahorsic, unlike his replay, the way his replay has been going, he's pitching more like his real self in this game. I guess because there's no pressure. Here's Polonia. 1-6, and as soon as I say that, he gives up a triple to Polonia. A 1-out triple to Luis Polonia. For Polonia, he had 10 triples on the real season. This is triple number 5 for him on the replay. So he's at third base with 1 out. Infield obviously in. With Stan Javier, the batter. 4-2, switch hitter. That's a strikeout. Big strikeout there for Mahorsic. In fact, that's his 3rd strikeout since coming into the game. Now it's a clutch situation for Carney Lansford. Right, 3rd, 2 outs. Lansford 2 for 3, single and a double. Stolen base, 4-2 runs, driven in a run. I mean, he's been active, as they say. 3-3 is a line out to third base. He's going to line it right to Parrish. And that will end the inning. So Mahorsic ends up going 2 1/3 and saving their bullpen. So Bobby Valentine's got to be happy about that. He gave up just 2 hits. More importantly, no runs, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. So we go to the top of the 9th. Last chance saloon against Dave Stewart. No action in the Oakland bullpen, not with an 8-1 lead. Tony La Russa is telling his guys to take the rest of this first game off, not even worry about it. Stewart's got it covered. So it's Porter, McDowell, and Petrali due up. 3-4 for Porter, and he's hit by the pitch. So Porter not too happy about that. Stewart got a little bit too inside and plunked him. Of course, he's no threat to run, so McDowell is your batter. McDowell 0 for 2. 6-6, and not 1 to 10 is going to be a double. That's a 12, though, so it's just a fly to right. So 0 for 4 for O.B. McDowell in this game. Brings up the catcher, Gino Petrali. Six-7, and that's a 1 to 4 single. That's a 12, so he's going to line it right to Tony Phillips for out number 2. And now Stewart 1 out away from the complete game victory, and his opponent is Bob Brower. Brower 1 for 2 with a walk. 110 for Brower. It's a ballpark blast, 1 to 5, but that's a 13. So fly ball to left field is going to end it, and Dave Stewart pitches a complete game in game 1. Certainly makes things easier for Tony La Russa to manage game 2 because he's got a fresh bullpen. And realistically, so does Valentine. The only one he doesn't have available is Mahorsic. Everybody else is available. 8-1 your final. 8 runs, 12 hits, no errors for Oakland. 1 run, 6 hits, and 1 error for Texas. Guzman, the loser, he drops to 2 and 5. Stewart, the winner, he goes to 9 and 3. And we'll get the final tabulations from the box score for Dave Stewart. Stewart's going to go the distance, give up 6 hits and a run. Walked 3, struck out 6. And now Oakland improves to 41 and 25. Texas drops to 25 and 39. Texas left on 8. Oakland left on 7. Player of the game, obviously, is going to be Dave Stewart. I know Canseco went 2 for 4 with a homer, but Stewart pitching a complete game. I think that seems to be would think that would be the prohibitive player of the game. So, before we get ready for game 2, before we take a break before game 2, I'll get the score sheet set up. Now that I know who won this game, I can update the records. Oakland's now 41-25. Texas is now 25-39. And the game 2 starters is going to be Ed Correa for Texas and Eric Plunk for the A's. Texas won game 2 13-3, so maybe they have a better chance this time. I don't know. It'll be game number 468 in the replay, and of course the ballpark effects did not change. So let's get our lineups out for Texas and get their people all straight. We know Mahorsic is unavailable out of the bullpen, but everybody else is. I need to go pull the starters out of the envelope. So let's see who we got. We got Jerry Brown. He will lead off, followed by Scott Fletcher, and then Ruben Sierra, Pete O'Brien, Larry Parrish. For some reason, Incavilla is not in either game. He's available on the bench. I don't know why he's not playing. Let's see here. McDowell in center. Petrali is now going to play third base with Mike Stanley, your catcher, in game 2. And then Brower back out in left field for game 2. So that lineup is done. Get their starting pitcher out, Ed Correa. Get his card out if I can find him. There he is. There's Ed Correa. He is going to be your starter in this one. Of course, need to go to the computer and get everything set up for game 2. Correa against Eric Plunk. So we need to pull Eric Plunk and get him ready. Here's Eric Plunk, your starter for Oakland in game 2. See, Plunk is 2 and 4 in the replay. Correa is 4 and 5 on the replay. Get Oakland's lineup set up. Luis Polonia is in center. Back from his earlier injury in game 1, Mike Davis is going to give it a go in right field. Carney Lansford at third. Canseco and McGuire back to back. And then Ron Say is going to be your DH. Catching is going to be Terry Steinbach. Alfredo Griffin will switch from short to second base. And Johnny LeMaster gets a start at shortstop for the Oakland A's. He only had 24 bats, hit 083 in the real world, but he gets to start at short today in game 2. Griffin, much worse as a second baseman. So the middle infield is a 4 with high error ratings. Not what you want, but that's what the La Russa had out there. So that's the situation, as they say, for what's going to happen here in game number 2. As it looks like everything logistically is now set up. And now we'll take about a 2-minute break while I take a stretch and get some more coffee. Refresh my coffee, I should say. But we won't leave you in silence. We'll play something for you for these next minute and a half to 2 minutes or so while I step away. And when we come back, assuming I can clear my throat, when we come back, we will have game 2 ready to go. Oakland and Texas.
It's a beautiful day for a home run, but even a triple's okay. We're gonna cheer and move and raise a hullabaloo at the ball game today. Batter off, strike one. Hey, the game has just begun and the home team's out to win. Very swing, right two. And the pitch is Dipsy too. Genius fast, home pop, right in. This is it. They're right free. Fans are tearing up the chairs, but what the heck, who cares? It's a beautiful day for a ball game, today. If you and I are out of dollars and cents, honey, we can always share a little home in the fence. It's a beautiful day for the ladies, so throw all your dishes our way. We're gonna cheer and move and raise a hullabaloo at the ball game today. At the ball game, the wonderful ball game today. Wow!
All right, we are back and ready to start game two. Eric Plunk on the mound. We'll get his full numbers on the replay. Let's go to the Strat computer so we can look that up. On the replay, Eric Plunk is 2-4 with a 6.65 ERA, 47 innings pitched, 51 hits, 47 walks, 44 strikeouts. Real world, he was 4-6 with a 4.74 ERA, so not pitching as well in the replay as he would like, that's for sure. But we'll see what happens. Lots of fresh arms in the bullpen for Oakland, so if Plunk falters, they got plenty of backup, that's for sure. So, Jerry Brown will be leading things off, but again, before the first pitch is tossed, we will have the ceremonial first sip, part 2. And that is good coffee. All right, so Jerry Brown hitting 275 on the replay, 2 homers, 16 driven in. He had 271 real world. He had off in game 1. 6-8, switch hitter batting left. That's a leadoff single for Jerry Brown. So maybe Texas can turn around. They trounced Oakland in this game in real world, 13-3. Let's see, Plunk on his hold, pitcher-catcher hold. He is a +3. So Jerry Brown's going to be looking to get a lead. Needs a 2, a 4 through 9 to get the lead. 11 he is caught. That's a 7, so he gets the lead. He'll be a 15. Being held is a 13, but the +3 is a 16. 1-16. And he's in there. Stolen base for Jerry Brown. So let's get Brown's numbers on the stolen base chance. So if you want to know what Brown can do for you, Brown just what he can do for Texas. He stole the base. That's what he could do. So Brown on the real season stole 27 bases, got caught 17 times. This will be stolen base number 18. He's been caught 9 times. So 18th stolen base of the replay for Jerry Brown. He's at second base, nobody out for Scott Fletcher. Fletcher hitting 319 on the replay, a homer and 35 driven in. Hit 287 real world. Nothing on the havoc. 3-9, and that's going to be a fly to center field. 1 away. 1 down, and that's going to send us to Ruben Sierra, right fielder. 277 on the replay, 19 homers, 47 driven in. He had 263 on the real season. 3-2, and that's a hit by pitch. So that's interesting. They hit a batter in game 1, did Oakland. Now they're hitting another batter here in game 2. We'll see if Texas decides to retaliate in kind. We shall see. Right now, first and second, 1 out. It oddly enough does set up a double play. Here's Pete O'Brien. He's hitting 277 on the replay, 13 homers, 33 driven in. He had 286 real world. 1-4, and that's it. And they get that double play. Look at that. Ground ball, second base, A. The plus is irrelevant because they were playing back, not in. Of course, he missed a home run by one number. 1-5 would have been a 3-run home run, but a 1-4 is a Giovanni's Tailor Shop tailor-made double play, 4-6-3 to end the inning. And Giovanni's Tailor Shop chiming in again here in game 2 like they did in game 1. Giovanni's Tailor Shop, Lemoyne, Pennsylvania. Be sure to stop by if you're in that area. Tell them Demo sent you. They'll give you a discount. They are the unofficial sponsor of the channel, but the official sponsor of the Giovanni's Tailor Shop, tailor-made double play of the game. So we're going to start the bottom of the first. Ed Correa. He was in the replay, he's 4-5 with a 5.60 ERA, 64 innings pitched, 62 hits, 45 walks, 49 strikeouts. In the real season, he was 3-5 with a 7.59 ERA. This may be his last to start because I think he might have one start after this because he's getting up close to his innings pitched. So we'll take a peek at his numbers. Actually, he's got a couple starts coming. He's pitched more innings than he did in real world because he's pitching better. So this is start number 13. He had 15 starts total. And he'll start out facing Luis Polonia, the center fielder. Polonia hitting 280 on the replay, 2 homers, 7 driven in. He hit 287 on the real season. So Polonia trying to get it started for the A's. 110, and that's a leadoff single. It's a good way to do it. Leadoff single. And, of course, they can run free with that +5 hold rating. So Polonia looking to get the lead, 4, 5, or 6. Doesn't get it, he'll hold. Going to bring up Mike Davis, right fielder. He's back from his injury of game 1. Davis on the replay hitting 291, 15 homers, 45 driven in. He at 265 real world. That's a 3-5 for Davis. He flies to center, 1 away. 1 down. So I'm hoping I can last through this doubleheader. Hopefully I have the endurance to do it. Hopefully I don't hit a dot and crap out. Here's Carney Lansford. Lansford hitting 291 on the replay, 9 homers, 37 driven in. He at 289 real world. 1-4, and that's a ballpark single check. 1-3, that fails. So it's going to be a line out to short. We're out number 2. 2 down, and here comes Canseco. Homered in game 1. So now he's up to 16 homers, 45 driven in, and a 273 average on the replay. Hit 257 real world with 31 home runs. It's a 4-7, and that's a base on balls. That will put runners at first and second. Clutch situation for Mark McGuire. McGuire on the replay, hitting 289, 22 homers, 49 driven in, and he hit 289 in the real season. So he's right on his mark. Pardon the pun, right on his mark. All right, here is McGuire in the clutch. He loses a hit on 312. That's the only difference. 6-7, and that's going to be a base hit. 1-4 is a double, 5-20 is a single, but it is a 2-star single. So Polonia will come around to score, and the A's take a 1-0 lead. All this with 2 outs. Canseco motors to third. 1-0 Oakland. And for McGuire, that is RBI number 50 for him on the replay. That'll bring up the designated hitter Ron Say. Ron Say on the replay, hitting 211, 5 homers, 9 driven in. He at 221 real world. .59, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Fletcher, 3E26 for Fletcher. 3-9, he should get to that. 3-9 is a G3. That's good enough. That's a 14, and he's an E26 at short. There's a 12, 17, and 18, but no 14, so Fletcher makes the play, and they limit Oakland to just the 1 run. As they leave 2 on base, we go to the second inning. It's Oakland 1 and Texas nothing. Top of the second. Leading off will be designated hitter Larry Parrish. He played third base in game 1, but he's back to his more familiar DH role in game 2. Parrish on the replay, hitting .253, 11 homers, 32 driven in. He hit .268 real world. 2-3, and that is a ballpark single check. Again, 1-3, that fails. Lines it right to the shortstop, LeMaster, one away. That'll take us to O-B McDowell, center fielder. McDowell hitting .213 on the replay, 4 homers, 20 driven in. He hit .241 real world. 6-10, and that's a solid double for McDowell. 1-out double. Puts the tying run in scoring position for Gino Petralli. Petralli hitting .281 on the replay, a homer and 13 driven in. He hit .302 real world. That's a 2, chance for a balk or pass ball. Plunk's balk rating is an 8. Pass ball rating on Steinbach's is 7. We are checking the balk rating, so it's a 1-8 for a balk. And we do not have a balk, so we continue with Petralli. 2-6 for Petralli. It's a 1-2 single. That's a 5. He lines it right to the second baseman, Griffin. McDowell getting back safely. 2 down. Clutch situation now for Mike Stanley, the catcher. Stanley hitting .237 on the replay. 3 homers, 9 driven in. He at .273 real world. In the clutch for Stanley. He will gain a couple of hits here, though. He gains 4 hits in the clutch. 1-4, 2-9, 3-10, 3-11. So 4 places he got a chance to get that extra hit with the clutch. But we're on the pitcher card. 6-4. Fly ball center field X. We're looking at Polonia. He's a 3-E9. 3-13. He'll get to that. E9 and an 8. I don't think there's any problem there. There is not. So it's going to be a fly to center to end the inning. And Texas will leave a man in scoring position. That was their theme in game 1. Leaving guys in scoring position. So it's 1-0 Oakland. As we go to the bottom of the second. Leading off for the A's will be Terry Steinbach. Of course, he was not playing in game 1. They had Tettleton catching. So Steinbach catches game 2. On the replay, Steinbach hitting .279, hitting with 3 homers, 11 driven in. He at .284 real world. That's a 3-11, and that's going to be a ground ball to short. Fletcher will make the play. 1 away, and here's Alfredo Griffin. I believe this is his first game at second base all season. He is rated there for E26, but much better at short. Griffin on the replay hitting .258, a homer and 20 driven in. He at .263 real world. 3-2, and that's a foul out right to Stanley. Popped it right up to shoot in foul territory. 2 down, and here comes Johnny LeMaster. I believe this is his first at bat, and it is. It's his first at bat of the season. Johnny LeMaster, a recent signee, try to help their infield depth. Gallego was on the injured list, so I guess that he's filling that void. So LeMaster, in 24 at-bats, hit .083 with 1 RBI. So tried to steal once, got caught. So that's what the numbers here are. Former Pittsburgh Pirate, San Francisco Giant, etc. 6-3, and that's a fly ball right field X. We're going to Sierra. He had a 2-base error in game 1. He's going to try to avoid that now. 2-E12. 2-19 is good. E12 and a 7 for right fielder. E12 and a 7. And he does avoid the error this time. So nice play by Sierra. And the inning is over. So at the end of 2, it is still 1-0 Oakland. Here in game 2. Oakland trying to sweep and extend that lead in the West. Texas just trying to be respectable and maybe pull off, maybe steal one here. Bottom of the order for Texas, Bob Brower, left fielder. Brower hitting .290 on the replay, 2 homers, 17 driven in. He at .261 real world. 5-9. That's a strikeout for Plunk. That's the first strikeout of the game for either pitcher. Plunk gets the K, and back to the top of the order for Jerry Brown. He singled and stole second, but was stranded there in the first inning. 2-8 for Brown, and he's going to fly it to right field, where Mr. Davis will make the play. 2 down. Don't forget, tomorrow is NBC Game of the Week. Fall Classic Baseball 1979. Rangers at the Yankees. Much different Ranger team in 79 than they had in 89. Ferguson Jenkins will be on the mound for Texas against Catfish Hunter for the Yankees. That'll be tomorrow at noon Eastern. Fall Classic Baseball in the NBC Game of the Week. Here's Scott Fletcher. 1-8, and that is a ground ball to Lansford, and that's an easy 1-2-3 inning for Plunk. So Texas scored 13 runs real world. They better get busy. They're nowhere near that right now. They're making Plunk look really good. Go to the bottom of the third, still 1-0. And due up for the A's, it's the top of the order. Polonia, he singled and scored his first trip. So if you're Correa, it's a good idea to keep Polonia off the bases. 6-5, but he does not. That's a leadoff walk. That's almost a cardinal sin, even though the Cardinals are not involved in the game. It's a cardinal sin. Leadoff walk. And now Polonia is going to try to get the lead. Needs a 4-5 or a 6 to get the lead. Doesn't get it, so he'll hold. Here's Mike Davis. Through the center, his first chance. 6-10, and that is a catcher X. That's Mike Stanley. He's not very good. 4-E-6. This could be all kinds of trouble. 4 and a 14. No telling what you're going to get on that. 4 and a 14 is going to be a P/F, so it's a potential for a pass ball. Let's see here. That is a 12, and he is an E6. There's no 12 there, but we go to P/F, and basically what we're doing is looking at the wild pitch rating of the pitcher to determine if a pass ball has occurred. And Correa is a 20 wild pitch, so it's automatically going to be a pass ball. So it will be a pass ball on Stanley, and that will move the runner to second base without having to steal. Davis back up, runner in scoring position now. 1-4, and that's a ground ball pitcher A. That'll freeze the runner, but that pass ball took the double play away, that's for sure. So Polonia is looked back to second base, and Correa throws to first for the out. Here's Carney Lansford. Line to short his first time up. 5-4, and that's a ground ball third base X. We're looking at Petrali. He's a 4-E-37. I'm not sure why Buechele is not playing either game. Neither is Incaviglia. They're both on the roster, so I don't know if they're dinged up or what the story is, but you would think they would have played. I know it's a Sunday day game after a Saturday night game, but still, you think they would have played. So 4-E-37 for Petrali. 4-20, he catches a break. How do you like that? But the E37, that's an 18. That's got error written all over it. E37 and an 18. And how do you like that? There is unbelievable. 18 would be an error for just about everybody. But Petrali's so bad, they don't give him the error. Look at this. E30, a good third base. And look at E37. Get up close here. You can see there's a 9, 11, 12, 15, 16, and 17, but no 18. So Petrali actually makes the play. Unbelievable. And it's a G1 on top of it because they've got a 20 on the D20. So it's going to hold, not only to make the play, he holds the runner at second. So how about that? Talk about your most unlikely of defensive plays. Petrali made it. And so now there's 2 away for Jose Canseco. First base is open, but you got McGuire right behind him, so I think you're going to pitch to Canseco here. It is a clutch situation. Canseco gets that extra hit on a 110. But he found a 3-5, which is good enough for Canseco because that's a home run on a 1-15, and that's gone. Maybe they should have walked him intentionally. I don't know. But Jose Canseco, a 2-run shot for Mr. Royds. Home run for Canseco. I don't think he was on roids just yet. Well, he did 30-on-1 home run, so he might have been. Let's see here for Canseco. That is home run number 17, his second of the day. He had one in game 1. Now he's got one in game 2. RBIs 46 and 47. As 3-5 is the home run 1-15. That's 12. So 2-run home run for Jose Canseco. A's now lead at 3-0. And here comes Mark McGwire. 2-6, and he's going to have a 1-6 single, but that's going to be a liner right to Fletcher, and that will end the inning. But the 2-run home run from Jose Canseco gives the A's a little bit of breathing room at 3-0 as we head to the top of the 4th. And due up for the Rangers, it will be Sierra, O'Brien, and Parrish. Hard of the order, 3, 4, 5 hitters. Time for Texas to get something done, get back in this game. 2-7 for Sierra. He strikes out. That's not the way to do it. Second strikeout for Plunk. Texas very much playing like a last-place team. Here comes Pete O'Brien. O'Brien hit into a double play his first time up. 2-4 for O'Brien. Ground ball right back to Plunk. That's 2 away. And the kind of game it's been for them, had this been a 2-5, that would have been a ballpark blast and a home run. But coulda, woulda, shoulda, as they say. You just know it's not your day when those rolls are getting that close and you're just missing it. As Maxwell Smart would say, by that much. Is Larry Parrish. 4-10, and that is a ballpark single check. It's only a 1-3, so we're going to keep the ground ball to first, where he flips to Plunk covering to end the inning. So very quick top of the 4th. Seems like Texas is in and out of the batting real quick, and Oakland doesn't stay in the field very long, and Texas has to go right back out in the field. Don't get much of a break. And they will start the top or bottom of the 4th, rather, with Ron Say, Steinbach, and then Griffin. Only bright spot for Correa is he's got a weak bottom of the order for Oakland. So it gets a little bit of a breather. 4-12, that's a strikeout of Ron Say. And that's the first strikeout for Correa. That'll bring up Terry Steinbach. 3-7 for Steinbach. That's a walk. And for Correa, that is walk number 3. Steinbach, no threat to run anywhere. Here's Alfredo Griffin. 2-4. Pops him up to first. O'Brien is there. 2 down for Johnny LeMaster. So you figure you got to get Johnny LeMaster out. As long as it goes off his card, you should. He has no hits on his card against righty, just 3 walks, but no hits. So 1-9, and that's going to be a line out right to O'Brien to end the inning. So at least Correa is keeping a little bit closer than what Guzman did in game 1. It's still 3-0 after 4. This is the fatigue inning for Plunk. In fact, both pitchers have 5 for their fatigue. So we'll keep a close eye on the fatigue. McDowell will lead off, followed by Petrali and Stanley. Here in the top of the 5th. Oakland, of course, Stewart pitched a complete game in game 1, so their bullpen is completely rested and can go multiple innings if need be. Here's McDowell. 2-12 for McDowell. That's a Lomax plus injury, so McDowell, outside chance he's going to have to come out of the game. We'll get back to our chart again, and again, the magic number is 6. He needs a 6 or less to stay in this game. And he does not get it, so he will come out. McDowell will have to leave. Felt something twinge there. So they'll have to have a new, well, they're going to move Brower to center. And they'll bring in a new left fielder, probably in Cavilla, I imagine. We'll see how they want to decide to do it. McDowell is out. Here's Petrali. 2-9, and that's a ground ball to short, 2 away. 2 up, 2 down, and here comes Mike Stanley. 4-3, and it's a ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at LeMaster. He's a 4E36. 4-19, he gets a break. He'll get to that. E36 and a 10, he might get away with that too. E36, there is no 10. There's 13, 15, 17, and 16, but no 10. So LeMaster will make the play. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Plunk. He keeps full endurance into the 6th inning. Boy, if they can get 6 or 7 innings out of Plunk, they'll really be happy. So we go to the bottom of the 5th. Also the fatigue inning for Correa. And Texas has pretty well arrested bullpen too, except for Mahorsic. He's unavailable, but everybody else is. Mahorsic pitched a couple innings in game 1, so not really going to go back to him unless it's a dire emergency. So top of the order, Luis Polonia will lead it off. He's been a troublemaker for Texas. He's singled and walked and scored twice. That's what a leadoff man's supposed to do, get on base and score. 6-8, and he's going to get on again with another walk. That is the fourth walk actually issued by Correa. And Polonia will get a lead again, 4 through 6 to get that lead. Doesn't get it. He's going to have to hold. So despite the high pitcher-catcher hold ratings, the A's, for the most part, have not been able to get a jump to get a steal. So they've had to stay where they were. Here is Mike Davis. 1-5, and that is a ballpark blast from Mike Davis. It's a 1-5, but that's a 15. So he will just fly to right field. 1 away, and that takes us to Carney Lansford. He's 0 for 2. One 5 for Lansford. It's a ground ball to third base A. That'll be around the horn, 5-4-3 double play. And that will keep Correa in the game into the 6th. Score 3-0. It was 13-3 Texas real world, but the Oakland pitching staff had just shut them down in both of these games. At least in this game, their own pitching is keeping them close, but that can't hold out forever. All right, so here's Eric Plunk, and we need to go to I forgot to do it in the bottom half of the inning. I totally whiffed on that to say what I was doing. Fortunately, the left fielder and center fielder were not involved defensively, so it didn't change anything. So I'm going to have to do this in the bottom of the 6th because I'm already at bat now with Texas, so I can't change him around. Brower's going to stay in the game anyway, so he is now the center fielder. 3-5, and that's a 1-13 triple. That's a 2, so Bob Brower hit 3 triples in the real season. This is his 3rd on the replay. So a leadoff triple for Bob Brower. And now maybe that can give Texas some life. It might cause the Oakland bullpen to start stirring around a bit. Here's Jerry Brown. Infield is back. They lead at 3-0. They'll give up the run to get an out. 3-8, and that's a walk. That's not a good start either. Now the tying run comes to the plate in the form of Scott Fletcher, and now the Oakland bullpen is loosening. There is activity down in the Oakland bullpen, and we do have, let's see who the most rested guy is. Might be Dennis Lamp. Let's see. Possibly Dennis Lamp. Nope, he's been overworked a little bit. Nelson's right on his number. Leaper. Yeah, so it looks like the most rested guy down there is Gene Nelson. So Gene Nelson is loosening in the Oakland bullpen. Scott Fletcher is up. Infield looking for the double play. Down 3-0. They're not going to try to steal with Jerry Brown. They want to keep their base runners on base. So here's Fletcher. 6-4, and that's a fly ball center field X. So we're looking at Polonia, 3E9. This should at a bare minimum be a sacrifice fly. 3 and a 6, it might actually drop. I think it does. 3 and a 6 is actually a single 2 stars. So it does drop. 15 could even be an error added onto it. E9 and a 15. Nope, 14, 17 are errors. But it's a single 2 stars, and that might very well be all for Mr. Plunk. I think he just lost it all of a sudden. So Plunk's coming out of the game. RBI single for Scott Fletcher. Brown moves to third. And now the lead has been cut. The lead has been cut to 3-1. Eric Plunk is officially tired per the computer, but LaRussa was already making that move to Nelson anyway. So Nelson going to show up at the garden party and see if he can't get the A's out of this mess. So we go to Nelson. Plunk's going to go 5+. He did not get anybody out in the 6th. Nelson, hold ratings of -3. So certainly Fletcher's not going to go anywhere. Sierra will be your hitter coming up. We'll go to the bullpen. Get the numbers on Nelson. On the real season, Gene Nelson 6-5, 3.93 ERA and 3 saves. On the replay, he is 6-0 with a 4.11 ERA and 1 save. So he's in there. Plunk can win it, but he cannot lose it. He's only responsible for 3 runs. The worst he can do is a no decision. There are no outs, so the infield's playing back for the double play. That's a 2, chance for a balk or pass ball. Looking at the pass ball rating on Steinbach, which is a 7. No pass ball, so Sierra will swing it. 5-10, switch hitter batting left-handed is a walk, and that's going to load the bases. LaRussa not happy about that whatsoever. Bases are loaded, nobody out for Pete O'Brien. Pete O'Brien. (3-9) for O'Brien is a line out right to the shortstop LeMaster for out number 1. 1 away. Brings up Larry Parrish. (5-12), and that is a ballpark blast against the right-hander. Still a ballpark blast, 1-5, but that's a 9, so it'll be a sacrifice fly to left field for Larry Parrish, as it defaults to a fly ball B when you fail the home run on the ballpark. So Parrish gets the RBI sacrifice fly, his 33rd RBI of the season. It's now a 3-2 ball game. And now we need the pinch hitter for McDowell, who was injured. So let's see who the pinch hitter is going to be. Looks like it's going to be Pete Incaviglia, because he's going to have to go into left field. And then they'll move Brower from left field to center. So Pete Incaviglia gets the call. He will be on. Pete Incaviglia. So technically, he was in left field in the 5th inning. I just forgot to put him in on the computer. So left field in the 5th inning. So Incaviglia right here. All right, so Incaviglia on the replay is hitting .246, 13 homers, 38 driven inning at .271 real world. Let's see what he can do here in the clutch situation. Tying run is at second base. In the clutch against right-handers, he loses a hit on 1-5 and on 3-12. Nelson to Incaviglia. 2-8, and that's a triple 1-5, and that's a 4. Look at that. Pete Incaviglia comes in with a pinch hit 2-run triple. Pinch hit 2-run triple. It's a 1-5, and that's a 4. Incaviglia had 4 triples real world. This is his 3rd on the replay, and the Rangers have come back to take the lead 4-3. 2-out clutch RBI triple for Pete Incaviglia. Close the book now on Plunk. He's going to give up the 3 runs. He gets a no decision. Right now, G. Nelson, the pitcher of record, as it stands at this very second. Trowley, your batter, with Incaviglia at third and 2 outs. 6-8, and that's a strikeout to end the inning, but damage done. Abraham Lincoln 4-score inning for Texas, and they take a 4-3 lead into the bottom of the 6th. Fortunes have turned. We'll go to the box score and get the final totals, and also make our defensive changes. Brower in center field now, Incaviglia in left. They didn't have any other outfielders on the bench. Everybody on the bench was an infielder, so pretty much had to go in that direction. Go to the box score and get the final totals on Eric Plunk, the official totals. He's going to go 5+ innings, give up 4 hits and 3 runs, all of which were earned, 4 walks and a strikeout. The 4 walks is what did him in. Can't walk that many guys in just 5 innings of pitching. But of course, the A's have the lineup to make a comeback, so they're not panicking at the moment. Playlist for older stuff. I don't know which older stuff you're talking about, because I don't have some of the older stuff are not projects. They're just one-offs or random games. So I don't have. I thought I had pretty much playlists for everything I did that was more than like 1 or 2 games. If I had any kind of a season replay or a pitcher replay or whatever, I thought I had those in playlists already. But I'll check it out when I'm done. Sometime today, I'll check out the playlist and see if there's something that needs to be created. I know I have not created a playlist yet for the NBC Game of the Week, but that just started. It's only been 2 games, so I'll eventually make a playlist for that. But anyway, thank you for reaching out to that. I will definitely take a look at it. So Canseco, all of a sudden, Correa now, he's a pitcher record and can possibly get a win. But he's got a long way to go. 4 innings to go. Here's Canseco. 5-7, and that is a walk to Canseco. Not a good way to start. If you're trying to protect the lead, don't go around walking guys. That's the 5th walk by Correa. So you had a lot of walks this game. 4 by Plunk and now 5 by Correa. Canseco needs a 6 to get a good lead. But knowing him, he might try it without the good lead. But first, we'll see what happens if he can get the lead. He does not, but it's possible he could try it without the lead, although it might not be smart. He'll be down to an 11, -4 being held to 7, +5 to 12. Still be a 60% chance to try it. They're going to try it 1 to 12, 60% chance. And he got caught stealing. So Canseco tried to get something started on his own, and it just didn't work out. Let's look at Canseco on the 87 season as far as stolen bases go. He stole in the real season. He stole 15 bases, got caught 3 times. In the replay, he has yet to steal a base. It's the 2nd time he's been caught. So he just can't get enough attempts because it's only a 6 to get the lead, to have a good lead. So he has to steal. If he's going to steal, he's got to steal off the bad lead, which doesn't always lead to positive results. But he's trying to get in scoring position with nobody out. Here's Mark McGwire. 2-8 for McGwire, struck him out. Strikeout number 2 for Correa. 2 down, and that's going to bring up Ron Say, the Penguin. 3-8 for Canseco, for Say rather, and he walks. Say, one of the slowest men in baseball. He is not going anywhere. Here's Terry Steinbach, catcher. He is 0 for 1. 1-8 for Steinbach. That's a home run, 1 to 14, and he did it. A 2-run bomb for Terry Steinbach. 1 to 14 on the home run. That's an 8. That is gone, and the A's reclaim the lead by the score of 5-3. So the 2-out walk by Say kept the inning going for Steinbach. He hits his 4th home run of the replay. He had 16 real world. This is RBI 12 and 13 on the replay. And Correa is now tired. It is 5-4. There are 2 outs, so they like to get Correa through the inning if possible. Face Griffin. 4-11, and that is a ballpark single check. That's a 6 on needed a 3, so liner to second to end the inning. But the 2-run home run, and boy, the A's have used home runs in both of these games to get their runs. 2-run homer by Canseco, now a 2-run homer by Steinbach. And that's going to be it for Ed Correa. So Correa could possibly take the loss now. He goes 6 innings. We'll get the full details on Correa from the box score. Now, all of a sudden, Gene Nelson's a pitcher record to vulture another win. That's why he's 6-0. He comes in when they're behind or makes them behind, but then the team catches up for him and scores runs, and that's how he gets the wins. They used to call them vultures in the old days, guys that did that. So Correa, 6 innings pitched, just 4 hits, but 6 walks were his undoing to give up those 5 runs, all earned. So we go to the top of the 6th, top of the 7th. And coming out to bat is Mike Stanley, followed by Brower and Brown. Now a topsy-turvy game, 5-4 A's, top of the 7th. 5-6, and that is a double, leadoff double for Mike Stanley, solid double. Now the A's bullpen starting to stir again. They do have left-handed action. Dave Leeper, a lefty, is loosening in their bullpen in case Nelson can't hold the lead. Here's Brower. 110 for Brower. That's a ballpark blast, 1-5, but that's a 14, so just a deep fly to left. So Nelson catches a break there. 1 down for Jerry Brown. That's a 2. Balk or pass ball chance. Looking at a balk chance on Gene Nelson. Let's get his balk rating. Nelson, a 0 balk. He's 11 wild pitch, but a 0 balk, so no balk to worry about. 6-7 against a switch hitter batting left. It's a strikeout. So Gene Nelson coming back with a strikeout. Trying to get out of this mess and keep the A's in the lead. He's got to get by Scott Fletcher in the clutch. Fletcher will lose a hit on 2-9 in the clutch. Everywhere else he is normal. Tying run is at second base with 2 outs in Mike Stanley. 3-4. Pops him up to third. And that's going to end the inning. That will do it, and that will do it for Gene Nelson. He did what they asked him to do. He went 2 innings, and he's going to come away with a lead despite giving up 2 runs. I'm sorry, 1 run. 1 run, or was it 2 runs? Did I miss? Let me do my calculations here. Maybe check the box score. I might have had a misprint here. Let me just double check it. I want to be accurate. So let's go to the Strat computer and make sure I'm in where I'm supposed to be on the box score. I may have given an earned run to somebody that shouldn't have been charged. Plunk 3. Okay, so only 1 run given up by. That doesn't make any sense. If he came in to face here. Oh yeah, he gave it. This run is actually. Okay, it's because of the top of the end. That's what it was. Okay. Ahead of myself there. So he's going to give up 1 run, 2 hits, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. But he is, right now, the pitcher record to get the win. And now, speaking of pitching, the Rangers have to figure out who they're going to bring in. It's Lemaster, Polonia, and Davis due up. You got righty, switch, and lefty. So could go either direction you wanted to at that point. They're going to Jeff Russell out of the bullpen. He'll be the first one out of the Ranger bullpen. He's a +1 hold, which makes him a +4. So we'll get the numbers on Russell. on the replay and in real world. Again, no 7th inning stretch because we had to break between games. So Russell, on the real season, Russell was 5-4 with a 4.44 ERA and 3 saves. On the replay, Russell is 2-2 with a 5.64 ERA and no saves. 22 innings pitched, 25 hits, 8 walks, 16 strikeouts. He does get the advantage of his first batter being the very mediocre Johnny LeMaster. 6-6 is going to be a walk, though, so he walks the weakest hitter in the lineup, number 9 hitter. That is definitely a cardinal sin. And now he's got to deal with the left-handed Poloni. I erroneously said he was a switcher. He's actually a lefty. So a leadoff walk by Russell. And now you've got Poloni up there. LeMaster, no threat to run, not being held. 4-5, and that's going to be a fly ball to left field. Hauled in by Incaviglia, 1 away. For Mike Davis. He's been quiet. He's 0 for 3. He's had a quiet doubleheader. He got hurt in the first game, and now he's 0 for 3 in the second game. 6-10. Catcher X. That's trouble, though, when you got Stanley. 4-6. 4-7. Probably some sort of a wild pitch or something. Let's see here. 4-7. A possible pass ball. That is a 15, and he is an E6. There's a 14 there, but no 15. So it's a P/P. P/P. Again, we're checking the wild pitch rating of the pitcher to determine if it's going to be a pass ball or not. Russell's wild pitch rating is a 12. And it's a 10, so it will be a pass ball. That'll move LeMaster to second base. So LeMaster's in scoring position with 1 out from Mike Davis. 3-7 for Davis. 1-19 is a single. It's only a 1-star single, but it's going to put runners at the corners. Runners are at the corners. Runners are at the corners. Let's see, Russell, the +4 hold. Davis needs a 2 through 5 to get the lead. Doesn't get it, he'll hold. And here's Carney Lansford. Now the Rangers have to figure out if they're going to play back for the double play or play in. Down by a run. They will play in. They're going to play in. They're going to play in against Carney Lansford. 1-4 for Lansford. Ground ball third base A. So it would have been a double play at the end of the inning, but you didn't know that. So it's been playing in. It's a 5-3 grounder. The runner on third holds. Runner on first goes to second. But you couldn't take a chance of getting that ground ball B. It's a 1-4. But if you got a 1-8 or a 1-9, it would have been a ground ball B and the run would have scored. So they were playing it close as they could to keep that run from scoring, which they did. They didn't get the double play, but they do keep the run from scoring. But now you got Canseco. Now, first base is open. But there have been a lot of walks in this game. And if you walk him, there's no place to put Mark McGwire. So they're going to go ahead and pitch to Canseco. It's a clutch situation. Canseco does get that 1 extra hit on 110. But this could be the ball game right here. Russell to Canseco. 3-8 for Canseco, and he struck him out. So he challenged him, and he got by with it. And he gets out of the inning. So Texas gets out of the jam. We go to the 8th inning. It's a nip and tuck 5-4 game here in game 2 of the doubleheader, which Oakland won easily in game 1 by the score of 8-1. So now, new pitcher coming in for the A's. See if that's going to be Leaper or somebody else. Let's see who's coming in for Texas. They got Sierra. They got some lefties coming up, so they're going to the left-hander Dave Leaper. Leaper will be coming on. He has a -6 hold, so he's really good at holding the runners, that's for sure. We'll get the numbers on Leaper. Nelson leaves, and he is the pitcher record to try to be a winner. Bam call coming in. Just what I needed. All right, Leaper. Leaper on the real season, Mr. Leaper, was 2-1 with a 3.78 ERA and 1 save, but he's been dominant in the replay. In the replay, he is 2-1 with an 0.39 ERA and 2 saves. 23 innings pitched, only 13 hits, 9 walks, 18 strikeouts. So he has been pretty much dominating in relief work in the replay. He's going to face switch hitter Sierra, then a lefty O'Brien. And then we got 2 righties after that, so the A's do have Jay Howell loosening in their bullpen. Could potentially close it out. We'll see. Here is Sierra. 6-6 for Sierra against the right-hander for Leaper, facing the switch hitter batting right. It is a fly ball to right field, and there is 1 away. See, make sure the cards aren't getting cut off. They're not, so we're good to go there. It is a fly ball to right field. 1 away. Big first out to get for Leaper. Brings up O'Brien in a lefty-lefty matchup. 3-3, and that's a line out right to LeMaster at short, 2 down. So 2 away, and it brings up Larry Parrish, the designated hitter. Parrish 0 for 2. It does have a sacrifice fly. 5-5, and that's a walk. Walk to Parrish. Now, he's not much of a threat to run. He is the DH, so they could possibly bring in a pinch runner because that he is the tying run. Do they have anybody who can run? Wilkerson runs pretty well. So they're going to pull Parrish and put Wilkerson in as a pinch runner. He won't try to steal, but at least he gets some better chance to score on base hits. So coming into the game, the pinch run is Kurt Wilkerson here in the top of the 8th. And then he'll stay in the game as a DH going forward. And Pete Incaviglia will get his first at-bat of the ball game, but he won't be facing Dave Leaper, as LaRussa has already made the move to the bench, or to the bullpen rather, and they will be bringing on the right-hander Jay Howell, Jay Thurston Howell III. So Howell it is, and Howell on the real season, 3-4, a 5.89 ERA and 16 saves. He split closing time with Eckersley, but Eckersley has been kind of overworked the last couple of games, so they need to really rest him if they can. I mean, he is available to pitch if they really need him. They want to give Howell the first chance, and he did have 16 saves in the actual season. So Jay Howell will be on. So Leaper is going to go 2/3 of an inning, walk a batter, give up nothing else. So they're asking for Howell to get a 4-out save, which is certainly not unheard of in 1987. Facing Mr. Incaviglia, who tripled in his only at bat back in the 6th inning. So on the replay, we said Howell was 3-4, 16 saves, and a 5.89 real world. On the replays, 1-2 with 9 saves, 4.91 ERA, 22 innings pitched, 17 hits, 19 walks, and 20 strikeouts. So again, the walks have been what's gotten to him. He's going to face Incaviglia. See if he can get out of the inning. Get a 5-9, and that is a home run, 1-11. That's gone. Pete Incaviglia, a 2-run home run off of the new pitcher, Jay Howell. And how about that? Since coming into the game for the injured McDowell, Incaviglia has tripled and homered. Go figure. Home run number 14 for Incaviglia. RBIs 41 and 42. And Jay Howell gets abruptly greeted, and we have to change this now because that one run is charged to Leaper. So the 2-out walk is what did it to him. The inning should have been over, but he walked Parrish with 2 outs and nobody on and paid the price. So Incaviglia has put the Rangers in the lead now by the score of 6-5. And here is Petrali. 4-6 switch hitter struck him out. Too little too late on that one for Jay Howell. So we go to the bottom of the 8th. Russell coming out for his second inning of work. He is now the pitcher of record to get a win. Well, he's still got 2 innings of some tough lineups to get through. It's going to be McGuire and then a pinch hitter for Ron Say. They're not going to have Say hit. They will probably bring on Hot Dog Jackson as a pinch hitter. So Hot Dog Jackson will pinch hit for Ron Say here in the bottom of the 8th. So Hot Dog Jackson. But first it's going to be McGuire, then it'll be Jackson. So Hot Dog Jackson. McGuire, Jackson, and Steinbach. Those are the scheduled hitters here in the 8th. All right, here is, whoops, I didn't put the strikeout for Petrali. Do that. All right, here is McGuire. It is now 6-5 Texas. Seesaw battle here in game 2. 6-6 is going to be a leadoff walk. You just don't want that when you're ahead like that. You don't want to put guys on base. That just leads to trouble. And now Ron Say is being called back, and Hot Dog Jackson says, let me at him. I know I had a bad game 1, but I feel it here in game 2. So Reggie is going to pinch hit for Ron Say. Jackson on the replay, only a 190 hitter, 12 homers, 32 driven in. He hit 230 real world. That's a 2, balk or pass ball. That is going to be a pass ball chance, and Stanley's a 17. It's not going to be a pass ball. He got lucky there. So here's Jackson. 4-7. Ground ball, second base, X. That's going to be Brown, 3-16. Could be a double play. 3 and a 4. Ooh, that could be interesting. He's not holding anybody on, so don't worry about that. 3 and a 4, though, is still going to be a single. 1-star single. And it's a 15 on an E16 at second base. And there's a 15 right there. So to add insult to injury, it's going to be a single plus an error on Jerry Brown. How about that? So Reggie reaches on the single, goes to second on the E4, and McGuire will go to second on the single, and then take third on the E4. So we have runners at second and third with nobody out, and Terry Steinbach, your batter. So Russell being let down by his defense. And Bobby Valentine not sure what to do. Steinbach is your batter. Infield is in. They want to prevent the run. Now, Steinbach had a 2-run homer his last time up. That's a 1, so a chance of a wild pitch on Russell. And I believe I looked at the wild pitch last time. I forgot what it was, but it is a wild pitch of 12. That's a 20, so it's blocked by Stanley. No wild pitch. Infield is in for Steinbach. 2-8. It doesn't matter where they're at. The single to center field, that's going to score McGuire. Jackson with nobody out will hold at third base. So we got a tie game. 6-6, just that quickly. And now the Texas bullpen is starting to stir again. You look at the Texas bullpen. They have left-handed action out there. And the left-hander they have going is the wild thing, Mitch Williams. So Mitch Williams is loosening in the Texas bullpen. Alfredo Griffin is up. Runners at the corners, nobody out. Boy, do you take a chance of playing for a double play and giving up the go-ahead run and limit it to the one run, or do you? They're going to play in. They can't afford to not play in, I guess. So Griffin steps to the plate. Russell trying to get out of the mess. 3-8 for Griffin, and that is a 1-9 single. That's a 3 RBI single from Alfredo Griffin, and the A's have reclaimed the lead. 1 star on the single. A's now up 7-6. And Wild Thing Williams would come in to face Polonia and Davis, but they're going to let Russell pitch to LeMaster. First and second, nobody out. Of what is now a 7-6 Oakland lead. 2-7, and that's a ground ball to pitcher B. They'll get the fielder's choice at second base on a 1-4. Going to third is Steinbach. So runners are at the corners now with 1 out, and that's going to be it for Russell. The call has been made to Mitch Williams out of the Ranger bullpen. They need some strikeouts, and he's a strikeout pitcher, no doubt. Also a walk pitcher, but they really need the strikeouts against the left-hander Polonia. So Russell is being called away, and Mitch Williams will be called in. Williams 8-6 with a 3.23 ERA and 6 saves in the replay in the real season. In the replay, he's 0-3 with an ERA of 7.07. However, he does have 10 saves, so he's been kind of feast or famine. 28 innings pitched, 23 hits, 26 walks, 38 strikeouts. Again, the walks have been the killer for him. He is a -6 hold, but I'm not sure that makes that much difference nowadays. LeMaster's not going anywhere. So we got Polonia stepping to the plate against Mitch Williams. Infield is in. Runners at the corners, 1 out. The infield is in. Looking for the strikeout is Mitch Williams. 4-6, and he gets it right on cue. Strikes out Polonia. 2 down, and now it's going to be up to Mike Davis. Another lefty-on-lefty matchup. Also a clutch situation. So in the clutch, he loses a hit on 3-10. By 4, and that's a strikeout. So Mitch Williams comes in and strikes out both guys he faces and keeps the score at 7-6. Now what do you do if you're Oakland? Do you trust Howell to finish it, or do you bring in Eckersley? You might have to bring in Eckersley. They didn't really want to, but I think they're going to have to. Or is that only 2 outs? No, that's 3 outs. Why am I not getting... Oh, I didn't get Polonia. Hold on, the computer is not registering what I want it to register here. Hold on. Let's figure this out. I actually put a single in for Polonia instead of a strikeout. That was the problem. It didn't hit S enough times. So strikeout, strikeout. All right, so now we can close the book on everybody. Go to the bullpen, go to the box score, get the pitching line for Russell. Get his total line here. Russell's going to go an inning and a third. He's going to give up 4 hits and 2 runs. Walking 2, striking out 1. Jay Howell, a third of an inning for Howell. A hit, a run. No walks and a strikeout. Coming up for Texas, the scheduled hitters are Stanley, Brower, and Brown. But I don't think Oakland cares who the scheduled hitters are. They are going to their next best option, which is Dennis Eckersley. So Eckersley will make the trek in from the bullpen. See if he can close out this ball game. We'll get the numbers on Eckersley. Eckersley on the real season, 6-8, 3.03 ERA and 16 saves. On the replay, he's 4-3 with a 2.03 ERA and 12 saves, so full run less on the replay. 53 innings pitched, only 30 hits, 11 walks, and 51 strikeouts. He has been immense in the replay. He's been money. Now, the question is for Texas, do they go to their bench to get a hitter for Stanley? They could go to Porter. He is a lefty off the bench they could go to. So they're going to Darryl Porter to hit for Stanley, as Eckersley is much better against righty hitters than he is lefty hitters. So Darryl Porter will come on to pinch hit for Mike Stanley here in the top of the ninth. Darryl Porter. If it goes to the bottom of the ninth, Porter can always stay in the game to catch. So it's Eckersley facing Porter, Brower. You have to keep Brower, and there's no other outfielders. So it's Porter, Brower, and Brown are your scheduled hitters. Porter on the replay hitting 346, 7 homers, 11 driven in. He only hit 238 real world, but he has really been tearing it up in the replay. See what he can do in this one against Eckersley. 1-7, and that's a walk. That's very rare. Eckersley will give up a walk like that, but he did. Leadoff walk. And now you're thinking about a pinch runner. Pinch runner for Texas, high probability. Porter does not run well at all. They can use Buechele, and Buechele runs at a 12. Slot runs at a 10. Neither one of them are very good. Do they want to save Buechele for a pinch hitter? Probably not. They're going to bring in Don Slot to run for Porter. He's only a 10 versus a 9, but I just don't like having single-digit guys run the bases. So 10 at least makes me feel better, even though not much better. So Slot will run. And he will stay in the game to catch if it goes to the bottom of the ninth for sure, as he is their last catcher. So Brower is an A bunter, though, so that's prime time here to bunt him over. Bob Brower will bunt. First, we'll check the havoc. That's a 2, so it's possible balk or pass ball. Looking at a possible pass ball on Steinbach, which is a 7. And it is a pass ball, so he won't have to bunt him over. A pass ball by Steinbach brings him over. So Oakland a little sloppy here at the end. And now Brower with the chance. Runner at second. He is the tying run. Nobody out. 6-6, and he struck him out. Fix this line here. Struck him out. 1 away. And here's Sherry Brown. Four 7, switch hitter batting left. That's a double 1-2. That is a 1. It's a double. We got a tie ball game. Texas has come back to tie this game at 7. And the pass ball comes back to bite him. So Eckersley blows the save. And now here's Scott Fletcher. Rangers looking to take the lead. 5-2. That's a ground ball second base C. That'll get the runner to third base with 2 outs for Ruben Sierra. So a really clutch situation coming up for Sierra with the go-ahead run 90 feet away. Ruben Sierra. Sierra in the clutch. Loses a hit on 3-4. That's his only clutch at bat. 1-3. It's a ballpark single check, but that's a 14, so he's going to ground it to third. And we're going to the bottom of the ninth, tied at 7 apiece. Eckersley blows the save. He can go multiple innings, though, so they'll pitch him another inning if they have to. So Mitch Williams thought he was done with 1 inning, but looks like he's coming back to pitch a second inning. He only faced 2 batters, so why not? So Mitch Williams will come on and face Lansford, Canseco, McGuire, 3 tough right-handed hitters. Hello, Aaron. Good to see you. So we need to bring in slot to catch on the computer to make sure they're whole and the lineup is whole. So the only guy left on the bench for the Rangers is Steve Buechele. All right, for the A's, it'll be Lansford, Canseco, and McGuire, part of the order, against Mitch Williams. 1-4, and that's a ballpark single check. It's only 1-3, though, so that will be a line out right to O'Brien. 1 away. And wouldn't the Strat-O-Matic gods, with their sense of humor, the day I decide to play a doubleheader is going to make the second game extra innings. I mean, I just can't make this stuff up, folks. Here's Jose Canseco, 2-2, and that's a low max with injury. So it's possible that Canseco might be injured. We'll have to see. 1-7 keeps him. 1-6 keeps him in the game. 7 or higher, he's got to come out. He's got to come out. So Canseco will leave. Stan Javier will have to come in, play left field if it goes extra innings, which it looked like it might do very easily. Stan Javier will be coming in, taking the place of Canseco. But McGuire is going to see if he can end it on one swing of the bat. We'll have to wait and see. Here's McGuire. 6-6, and that's a base on balls from Mitch Williams, so it keeps the game going. McGuire with the walk. Reggie Jackson is your scheduled hitter. He is a lefty, though. Looking at the Oakland bench, who's available now that we've put Javier taking the place of Canseco. You can't put him into pinch hit for Jackson because that locks him at DH, so you don't want to do that. They have Tettleton. He's a backup catcher, and they got Tony Phillips. They're going to bring in Tony Phillips to hit for Reggie Jackson. Jackson doesn't like it, but Russa says, I'm playing matchups here. So Tony Phillips will pinch hit here in the 9th and stay into DH if need be. So this is Phillips now. DH. So Reggie is out along with his buddy Canseco. And Tony Phillips is in. So we bring Phillips in. Look at the numbers on Phillips. Phillips on the replay hitting 241, 4 homers, 26 driven in. He hit 240 real world. Williams with McGuire at first. No threat to run. 6-5, switch hitter batting right-handed, and that's a walk. So another walk from Mitch Williams. That's what you get with him, strikeouts and walks. You take the good with the bad. And now it's Steinbach, last chance. A's have a chance right here to walk it off. No movement in the Texas bullpen as Bobby Valentine's going all the way with Mitch Williams, live or die. It is a clutch situation, and in the clutch, he loses a hit on 2-2. So Williams facing Steinbach. McGuire only runs at a 10, but you don't really have anybody to run for him, so you're kind of stuck there. He will get the benefit of not being held and being 2 outs, so it could be up to 13 on a base hit. 6-9, and that's another walk. So he has walked the bases loaded as Mitch Williams and turned it over to Alfredo Griffin with the bases loaded. So he got the 2 strikeouts in the first inning, but now he has walked the bases loaded here in the bottom of the 9th. Williams is now showing as tired. But again, Bobby Valentine going with his guy. Griffin in the clutch against lefties will gain a hit on 311. Everywhere else he is the same. Also, Mitch Williams needs to avoid 110 and 5-5. I'm sorry, 410 and 5-5 because those will be fatigue rolls that will turn into game-winning singles. So here's Griffin. 2-8 for Griffin against the lefty. He grounds it to short, and we've got extra innings. And that'll be it for Mitch Williams. He's going to go an inning and 2/3. Struck out 2, walked 3. No runs, no hits. And we got free baseball here in the second game of a doubleheader, which I wasn't thinking was going to happen, but certainly it did. So Eckersley will come back out for the top of the 10th. And he'll be facing O'Brien, Parrish, and Incaviglia. And of course, Incaviglia has been the thorn in the side of Oakland since coming in for the injured McDowell. He has tripled and homered. So they got to keep an eye on Incaviglia. Let me see how far I can go on this score sheet without losing the. Looks like we're still good. Actually, I can probably go a little closer here. Maybe that'll help. I don't know. So Eckersley in his second inning of work, and he'll be facing O'Brien, Parrish, and Incaviglia. Top of the 10th. 7-7. 7 runs, 8 hits, and 1 error for Texas. 7 runs, 8 hits, and no errors for Oakland here in game 2. So he missed game 1. Oakland won in a rout, 8-1. Dave Stewart, a complete game. But this one, much, much different. O'Brien, your batter, 6'5". And that's going to be a fly ball to center field, hauled in by Polonia. 1 away. Takes us to Curtis Wilkerson. He came in to hit for Parrish. I forgot about that. So Wilkerson is actually your DH. He came in to pinch run for Parrish. So this will be Wilkerson's first at bat of the game. He did start game 1. On the replay, he is hitting .205, a homer and 3 driven in. He hit .268 real world. 311, and that's a pop up to second base. Pop up to Griffin, 2 away now, but Incaviglia is the guy you got to watch out for. He has tripled and homered. Do you give him the Barry Bonds-like treatment of an intentional walk with the bases empty? I don't think you're going to do that. But it's a thought. Here's Eckersley. 3-9 for Incaviglia. Struck him out. 3-10 would have 3-11 rather. A home run chance, but 3-9's a strikeout. And that'll do it for the Rangers in the top of the 10th. Rangers will need a new pitcher as we go to the bottom of the 10th. We'll see who they choose to bring in. As Williams goes the inning and 2/3. So we go to the Ranger bullpen. They already used Mahorsic quite a bit, so the last guy out of the bullpen besides Mahorsic is lefty Paul Kilgus. And that's where the direction they're going to go. Paul Kilgus, left-hander for the Rangers. Paul Kilgus. And Buechele is the only one left on the bench as far as pinch hitting or defense goes. So Kilgus will come on. He is a -6 hold, so that certainly helps. And the catcher is Slot, which his hold range is +1, so that makes him a -5. So that could make a difference. Somebody trying to steal a base. Scheduled to lead off is LeMaster, but I believe he's being called back by Tony La Russa. And we will get a pinch hitter for La Russa. Or can they? Let's see. Do they? See, they're going to lose their DH if they do that because Phillips could play second base. Man, do they want to take a chance of losing their DH? Yes, they're going to take a chance of losing their DH. I do believe. So they're going to bring on Mickey Tettleton to pinch hit for LeMaster. And if it goes extra innings, they will lose their DH because they're going to have to move Phillips from DH to second base. But they're going for the jugular right here. Tettleton pinch hitting in the 10th. So we get Mickey Tettleton off the bench for the A's. Get the numbers on Kilgus as well. Kilgus on the real season was 2-7 with a 4.13 ERA. On the replays, 0-1 with an ERA of an even 8. 9 innings pitched, 9 hits, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. Obviously, 8 earned runs. But it's a small sample size, so we'll see what happens here with Mickey Tettleton. I don't think they have a statue of him in the area, but he's definitely a local boy for sure. All right, here is Mickey Tettleton. So let's put him here as a pinch hitter. Mickey Tettleton on the replay hitting .210, 9 homers, 20 driven in. He hit 194 real world. 6'10", switch hitter batting right-handed. Is a ground ball third base X. That is Petrali. He's a 4.37. 4 and a 6 might get through for a base hit. It does. 4 and a 6 does. That's an 11. He's an E37. There's an 11 there, so it's a single plus an error on Petrali. Tettleton reaches on the single, and then the E5 on Petrali puts him to second base. So possibly could have brought Buechele into play third, but you never know about these things. So Tettleton is aboard. He is the winning run. Doesn't run all that well. Runs at a 10. They do have Javier on the bench to pinch run. He's the last guy available off the bench. Javier, how does he run? Javier runs. Where is Javier? How do I miss Javier somewhere? The heck happened to Javier? He got mixed up in the other teams, I guess. Hold on. Let me find him. Where the heck is Javier? For some reason I can't find Javier. They get mixed into pitchers. Yeah. What the heck happened to my Javier card? Somehow I misplaced the card I wanted to use. Javier, he's not in the game. He's not in the game. Yeah, he is. That's right. He came into the game for Canseco, didn't he? Thought he did. Yeah, because Canseco lined out and was injured. That's exactly correct. Why didn't I put this down here? I missed that for some reason. So it's actually Javier is actually in the lineup, so can't pinch run for him. So they're going to stick with Tettleton. They have no choice. That's why I couldn't find Javier, because he's in the game already. I just didn't note it like I should have. So Polonia is up, lefty on lefty against Kilgus. If he was a better bunter, I'd have him bunt him to third, but he's not a very good bunter. Kilgus 1-3. That's a walk, so puts runners. I mean, his run's irrelevant. Probably helps him being on base because it sets up a double play. Mike Davis is your batter. He is a B bunter. Boy, technically you'd think the play here would be to bunt. He would be a C bunter, though, if he tried to bunt. But I think he's going to bunt anyway. LaRussa's going to ask him to show those fundamentals they had in spring training and says, get me a bunt. I need a bunt. So we're going to have a bunt chance from Mike Davis. See who fields it. 5 is the first baseman, O'Brien. He's in the C category, so he basically needs an 8 or less to have a good bunt. Whoops, that yellow die flew out of here somewhere or another. Where is that? Come on, way over here. Just falling apart here. I must have hit the dot on my strat card because I must be getting tired. But I'll try to persevere and not miss the tray so often. 1 to 8, or not a 1 to 8, but an 8 or less, he's going to have a good bunt. 2 through 8 is a good bunt. 9 or higher is iffy. That's a 7. It's a good bunt. Good sacrifice from Mike Davis. So he does what they ask him to do. It's going to be 3 unassisted. As O'Brien just tags Davis coming up the line. Davis not trying to avoid anything. But now second and third with nobody out for Carney Lansford. First base is open, but you got Canseco on deck, so you're going to have to pitch to Lansford. Don't really have any choice here. You're going to have to pitch to Lansford. Infield is in, obviously. Outfield is in. Everybody's in. If I was in the game, I'd be in. Here's Lansford. 6-3 on Kilgus is a ground ball pitcher X. So it could come down to a pitcher error. He's a 3E38. 3E38 for Kilgus. 3-18, he'll get to it. The question is, does he make the error? That's a 9. E38 and a 9 for a pitcher. This deserves a close-up. E30, let's go to the pitcher. And we're looking at an E38 under the pitcher. And we're trying to avoid a 9. And he does. Look at that. 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 15 are errors, but not a 9. He makes the play with a 9. The 3 and the 18. 3 and the 18 is a G1. So on a G1 with runners, let's go over here. Where'd you go, G1? Here we go. G1, runners at second and third, the infield in. The play is on the batter. Everybody else is safe. So Kilgus will freeze everybody on the base paths, throw to first for the out number 2, and Canseco is your batter, and they will intentionally walk Canseco. They are not going to mess around with that. I know McGuire's on deck after him, but they'd rather pitch to McGuire than to Canseco. So we'll get the intentional walk to Canseco, and now it's up to, I'm sorry, it's not Canseco, it's Javier. What am I talking about? Let's backtrack. I keep forgetting it's not Canseco, it's Javier. They will pitch to Javier, my bad. Javier will have to hit with second and third. So let's undo that last event. So Javier will have to bat. Oakland has no more bench players remaining, so everybody they have. And if they don't score and win the game, they'll lose the DH. So something else to think about. Right now, Javier is up in a clutch situation. 2 outs, runners at second and third against the left-hander. He loses a hit on 3-12. Kilgus facing Javier, bottom of the 10th, tied at 7. 6-7, switch hitter batting right-handed, is a ground ball shortstop X, so it's all up to Fletcher. He is a 3E26. It's all up to Fletcher, 3E26. 3-17, he'll get to that. We're checking the error. E26, that's an 11. E26, and there's no 11. There's a 12 there, but no 11. So Fletcher makes the play, and Kilgus pitches out of the mess. And Oakland will have to wait another inning to try to win this game. So ground out to short. And we go to the 11th inning, and there will be massive substitutions. Alfredo Griffin will move over to play shortstop. Tony Phillips will play second base. Actually, we get a new pitcher, Lamp. I did a video on how to do this and I haven't done it in a while, but I need to do it now. Dennis Lamp's your new pitcher. So Lamp will come on. And pitch. Phillips will be the second baseman. Let's see here. Javier is going to be your left fielder in place of Canseco. Oh, shoot, let me redo this. I did this wrong. Let me redo this. Lamp comes in for Eckersley. Left fielder is Javier. Tony Phillips is now at second base. And The pitcher will now hit in the number 9 position. So the new pitcher, Dennis Lamp, is going to bat in the 9th position for Oakland. So Dennis Lamp, and he's got a long relief rating, so he can go a few innings if need be. Dennis Lamp will come on. Eckersley went 2 innings, giving up the 1 run. He walked 1, struck out 1, gave up the double, which was the big blow there. All right, so we have Javier in left field. Phillips is now at second base, and the pitcher spot now is number 9. Griffin is now at short. All right, so Dennis Lamp starts the top of the 11th. Hello, Jeremiah. Hopefully you will enjoy your painting. I don't know. So, Dennis Lamp, let's get his numbers on the real season. 1-3 with a 5.08 ERA, no saves. On the replays, 2-0 with a 2.76 ERA and 1 save. 29 innings pitched, 29 hits, 11 walks, 11 strikeouts, and he is the last of the Mohicans for the Oakland A's. He is the last line of defense. There are no other relievers available except for one uncarded guy named Dave Van Olen. And if it gets to that, I'll bring him in. Everybody else are starting pitchers, so they have nobody else. It's Dennis Lamp or bust at this point. And for the Rangers, it's pretty much Paul Kilgus and bust, although they could bring back Mahorsic and make him a workhorse and have him pitch an inning perhaps if they take a lead. Right now, it'll be Petrali, Slot, and Brower. The slot came in for Stanley. So Petrali will get the leadoff spot. Chance to hit here against Dennis Lamp. 6'9". He's a switch hitter batting left. That's a strikeout for Dennis Lamp. Petrali is out of there. Here's Don Slot. This will be his first at bat of the game. Slot hitting 258 on the replay. 6 homers, 18 driven in. He hit 224 real world. 4-8, and that's a solid single for Don Slot. Can't pinch run for him. He's the last catcher on the roster. Although I guess you could pinch run for him with Buechele and then move Petrali to catcher. But Buechele doesn't run that much faster than Slot does. So you're going to keep Buechele on the bench as a ace in the hole, so to speak. So 1 out, and here's Brower. Brower 1 for 4 with a triple. 4-8, and that is a single 1 star. Now put runners at first and second with 1 out for Jerry Brown. .111 for Brown. He pops it up to second base. Tony Phillips right there to make the play. 2 down. 2 away, and that's going to leave it all up to Scott Fletcher in a clutch situation. Fletcher in the clutch loses a hit on 2-9. Everywhere else he is neutral. Trying to put the Rangers in the lead here in the 11th inning. 3-9, and he won't. He flies to center, and that will end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 11th. Still tied at 7 apiece. Kilgus back out, and Kilgus will be facing McGuire, Phillips, and Steinbach. Those are your scheduled hitters, McGuire, Phillips, and Steinbach. Dennis Lamp will have to bat in this game if it goes another inning, because they don't have anybody else on the bench. They've used all their players, and they took the DH away. So here's McGuire against Kilgus. 4-7. That's a solid single for McGuire. Of course, he doesn't run well, but that's all they can do. So McGuire gets the leadoff single. Tony Phillips is your batter. He's not a good bunter. We're not going to mess with bunting. Bunting didn't help him out last time. So Phillips is going to give it a go. 3-11, and that's a strikeout. One away for Terry Steinbach. On deck is Alfredo Griffin. Kind of a war of attrition here. 2-5 against the lefty. Ground ball third base. Hey, that's an around the horn double play. 5-4-3. And we are going to the 12th inning here in Oakland. Just what we needed. Second game of a doubleheader, and we're going to a 12th inning. Can you make this stuff up? I don't think you can. All right, since I'm moving too far to the left here, I'm to the right, and I'm going to lose the players off the page. I'm going to go ahead and move the cards over to here. Hopefully they'll be easier to see. Ruben Sierra will lead it off for the Rangers here in the top of the 12th. Sierra, switch hitter against Lant, 4-11. Fly ball left field X, that is Javier in left field. He is a 2-7 in left field. 2-1, that's going to get down for a base hit. 2-1 is going to be a double. 2-1 is a double. That's a 4-7. No error there, but it's a leadoff double for Ruben Sierra as the double die chimes in with a 1. And now the Rangers have something cooking. Runner at second, nobody out for Pete O'Brien. Lamp to O'Brien. 3-9, and that's a line out right to short. And there's one away. And that'll take us to Curtis Wilkerson. 1-4 for Wilkerson. That's a solid triple for Curtis Wilkerson. So the bench players for the Rangers coming through. Kurt Wilkerson, the pride of Dinwiddie High School down on the outskirts of Petersburg, Virginia, and he gets a triple. And that puts the Rangers in the lead. RBI triple from Kurt Wilkerson. Now the infield will come in for Pete Incaviglia. They have no choice. They're down by a run. He's got to come in. 3-2, and that's a ground ball to shortstop A. That'll freeze the runner at third base, so he will have to hold. And now it's Gino Petralli. Gino Petralli stepping in. Rangers will make a move and they're going to go ahead and bring in Steve Buechele to play third in the bottom of the 12th. They don't want Petralli's 4.37 to hurt him. But we'll let Petralli bat. That's a 1, possible wild pitch, and that could score a run. Go to Dennis Lamp's wild pitch rating. This could be a big insurance run. Lamp's wild pitch rating is a 14. This could be big. It's a 14 right on the number. It's a wild pitch. And the Rangers take a 2-run lead. That's a huge insurance run for the Rangers. It is now 9-7. 2-11, ground ball to third to end the inning. But a 2 spot here in the top of the 12th for the Rangers. And they will bring in Steve Buechele to play third base here in the bottom of the 12th and give him better defense. He's a 2E15 versus the 4E37. So Buechele going to play third base in the 12th in back of Petralli. So Buechele is a 2E15. 2 with an E15 for Buechele. All right, bottom of the 12th. Bottom of the 12th we go. Kilgus has a chance to win it. He's got to face Griffin, Tettleton. I'm sorry, Griffin, the pitcher spot. Remember, they use their DH already, so they have nobody to hit. In fact, I've got to pull out a pitcher rating card number 1 to play this. I go pull out my old pitcher hitting cards from the National League days. I need one of these. Didn't think I'd need one of these in this game, but we do, because they don't have the DH any longer, as they moved Phillips from DH to second base. So it's going to be Griffin and then the pitcher, Lamp. Of course, if Griffin gets on, well, they could always bunt with Lamp, but you're down by 2, so bunting doesn't necessarily help either. So let's see here. Petrali grounded to third to end the inning. So now here we go. Alfredo Griffin to lead it off. It's a 3-7, and that is a split. 1-2 is a single. He's going to line it to short for Fletcher, and there's one away. Now that I bring up the pitcher spot, Dennis Lamp. Oh, they're hoping for something off of Kilgutz's card, obviously. And they get something off Kilgutz's card. 4-8, so 1-7 single. He's going to line it to short. So another line out to short for 2 quick outs. And that'll bring up. That will bring up. Man, where's Tettleton in? I thought Tettleton was in here somewhere. He pinch hit in the 10th. Oh, he had to come out of the game. That's right. He pinch hit, and that was it. All right, so we're back now to the top of the order. Poloni. I had to make sure I was straight where I was at. So it's 2 out bases empty, and we have Luis Poloni, last chance. If he gets on, though, then it will bring the tying run to the plate, but he's got to get on base. Poloni, lefty against Kilgus. 2-9. He pops it up to third, and the ball game is over. So the Rangers outlast the A's in 12 innings of Game 2 by the score of 9-7. And we'll get the totals. And what a way to end the week with a doubleheader that the second game goes 12 innings. I wasn't planning for that. I didn't have that in my pool, but, it can happen. So we go to the box score. Winning pitcher is Paul Kilgus. He's now 1-1. Kilgus, 3 innings pitched, just 2 hits, no runs, a walk, and a strikeout. He'll be unavailable in Monday's game because he went 3 innings, so they'll have to rest him. Dennis Lamp goes 2 innings, 4 hits and 2 runs, no walks and a strikeout. He will take the loss, and Lamp will drop to 2-1. Final line score, 9 runs, 12 hits, and 2 errors for Texas, 7 runs, 10 hits, and no errors for Oakland. Oakland left 12 runners on base. That was kind of their bugaboo. They had, especially here, the bases loaded, they left them on. And then second and third, only 1 out, and they couldn't score them. So earlier on, it was Texas leaving guys on. Later on, it was Oakland leaving guys on. So the doubleheader ends up being a split. Each team winning 1 game. And that finishes out the June 25th, easier for me to say. That finishes out the June 25th schedule, or June 21st schedule, I mean. So we go to our standings, and after June 21st, Oakland with the split still leads California by 5 games in the American League West. Minnesota, Kansas City are in third place, 9.5 back. In the East, Milwaukee leads Toronto by 4. Detroit and the Yankees are 8 games back and tied for third place. So the day of June 21st has been completed. As we look ahead to Monday, start a new day, June 22nd, new opponents. We'll have the following matchups going east to west, which is what I try to do as best I can. So the first game will be at Fenway Park, will be in Boston. It'll be John Henry Johnson for the Brewers, and a new name is being added to the Boston roster in 1987. Dennis Oil Can Boyd will make his 1987 debut on Monday against the Milwaukee Brewers at Fenway Park. On Tuesday, we'll be in Baltimore. It'll be the Yankees and the Orioles. Dennis Rasmussen against Mike Boddicker. On Wednesday, we will be in Detroit. It'll be Toronto at Detroit, Jim Clancy and Frank Tanana. On Thursday, we will be in Texas. It'll be California at Texas. Mike Witt against Greg Harris. And on Friday, we will be in Oakland. It'll be Kansas City at Oakland. Brett Saberhagen against Steve Ontiveros. And the game I play offline will be Seattle at Chicago. So that's the tentative schedule for next week. Of course, tomorrow at noon, NBC Game of the Week, Fall Classic Baseball 1979. It'll be the Rangers and the Yankees from Yankee Stadium. So, for those that lasted with me all this long, thank you very much for sticking around. You can tolerate me for almost 2 hours and 45 minutes. That's exactly 2 hours and 46 minutes since this stream started. So thank you all for being here and hanging with me throughout this Friday morning. I'm not sure if Uncle Ron has something coming up at noon or not. If he does, check him out. If not, just wait around till RJL or somebody else puts something out today, later on. But until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.